What's up, everyone? It's the interview queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch Tru Heel Heat.
What's up, guys? It's Wolverine, Death Machine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, and you're watching Tru Heel Heat. Who better? Nobody.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat podcast.
Well, you see, I wasn't supposed to be on this episode of the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast, but baby Seth, he called me a month before this show, and he was like, the ticket sales were going pretty bad. It wasn't going to get a lot of viewership unless I was on it. So what I did is I wanted to come up with this concept where the top star, Miss Krssi Love, I'm gonna ask to take her soul, and as the final three. I had this whole concept where I'm gonna take her soul and we're gonna turn her heel. And the fans loved it. The fans, love when I come up and I change storylines. So that was the whole idea that I had. But then, you had Romeo who came to me and he was like, how about we have Josh be the one who sells his soul to you? And he's the one that turned heel. And I was like, yeah, that's great. And I was like, all right, cool. We did it. One of the greatest angles of all time on Tru Heel Heat. And you know what? I said, I'm going to step back and I'm going to let Krssi Love and Josh do this show. So I'm out of here. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. for Tru Heel Heat 326, the final boss power struggle game. Discussing the latest wrestling news, including WWE's power struggle between The Rock and Triple H spilling over into reality, into the public light, coming off the heels of WrestleMania 41. A recap of this week in wrestling with WWE WrestleMania 41 nights 1 and 2. Also featuring the John Cena winning his 17th WWE Championship versus Cody Rhodes in one of the most critically panned WrestleMania main events of all time. Seth Rollins aligning with Paul Heyman. You also had WWE Raw After Mania, which had Bron Breakker showing in the side of Heyman and Rollins. SmackDown last night with an all-timer in TLC main event. NXT Stand and Deliver, NXT After Mania, Evolve, AEW Dynamite, ROH TV, the end of the GCW Collective last weekend, and TNA Impact. Plus, we got final predictions for STARDOM, All-Star Grand Queendom, and TNA Rebellion, plus much, much more. But yes, I am here. Don't worry. That was my alias. This is actually SP3 talking. This isn't, the final three. I'm not the final three today. I'm SP3 talking. And she is back. The Tribal Queen is here. The top star, Miss Krssi Love. How are you doing?
What's happening, people? I leave you guys for like 2 weeks, and you leave in this in shambles. What's happening? I don't understand this. WrestleMania was a complete shit show. Yeah, great stuff, guys. Happy to be back.
I'm glad you are back with us this week, and of course, we are joined by the one and only True Draw himself, Josh. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I don't know about WWE.
You say you're feeling great.
To be fair to WWE, they have many issues, and some people want to have the biggest dick measuring contest in wrestling history. So here we are.
Put it on the table.
But yes,
you have the longest one. Who's the longest schlong? Let's go.
We are here to discuss the latest wrestling news, so we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you, hear your thoughts on this week in pro wrestling. We try to highlight as many of your comments as possible, but of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, you can do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate your support. And yes, we've hit some goals on the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast as of late. So today is a special call-in episode. I think this is going to be the first time since like 2023 we've tried this endeavor, so bear with us. Not everybody's going to be able to come on because we got limited availability, limited time. That we got Krssi Love with us today, so we're going to try to get in as many people as possible as we talk about WrestleMania week, as we talk about the power struggle between Triple H and The Rock. But we want to hear from you, so it's going to be very much first come first serve when it comes to our members of the channel or Patreon backers. Y'all will have the first come first serve when it comes to clicking the link once we share it in the live chat here. But of course, you also can get on camera as well if you send a super chat donation. If you send a super chat donation, you are also first come first serve. The only things that we ask for you is you don't have to keep it PG, because this has never been a PG show ever in the history. In the history of this show, you don't have to be PG. All you have to do is have your camera on, because we're not going to have faceless trolls on our live stream here. So, but we are going to share the link shortly before we after we get through all the pleasantries and everything. And once we talk about WrestleMania, we will allow you guys on the screen. But we got a couple of people already in the live chat with us. We got Logan James, who says, "Hello, I'm not surprised if WWE acquires Marigold or Noah or both in the future." I could see that. I can week that we had with WWE purchasing triple Lucha Libre AAA. Noah's a little bit too good, but Marigold feels like it was just made for Rossi to eventually sell it to WWE. So I can see that. We got our good brother Jeremy Orr in the chat joining us today. Appreciate seeing you, Jeremy. He says maybe go after all Japan soon. I think similar to AAA. I could see that too. All Japan. They got a whole bunch of creeps on their regular roster, so they could probably fit in well with WWE. We got Eric Isaac who says, "Hey THH fam, another wild week in the world of wrestling. What a great main event ladder match to end SmackDown. That joint had no business as being as good as it was, but it just makes it even dumber that WWE didn't put it on WrestleMania."
I'm about to say the same thing. They was like, "I'll show you. We'll show you why we are who we are," and they was like, "We don't have to be on the card. We're gonna be on a regular night of freaking SmackDown on the third hour of bullshit and close out the show with a bang." Bravo to them.
Absolutely. Give it up to all six guys. That was definitely, I would say, the best main roster matchup that DIY has been in, and that was definitely the best WWE match that the Motor City Machine Guns have been in. It's probably the best matchup that the Street Profits have been in, at least the best since the Usos at Money in the Bank in 2022. Because man, they went all out last night on SmackDown from Fort Worth, Texas. They actually made that crowd come alive that was asleep for most of the 3 hours. We also got MCats in the chat. Thank you for joining us here. He says SP3 Triple H's GOAT. Papa H always cooking. Yeah, right. WWE roster bloated as hell. And it's gonna get even more bloated because some AEW talent says WWE's my dream. So I don't care. I want to reset you guys.
Okay, oh my god. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Don't worry. We'll explain. You've missed a lot. You've missed a lot.
I'm prepared. That's why I'm drinking Gatorade and just
getting your electrolytes on. Okay.
Yeah.
I need
them. I need it.
MCAT says, so glad TK and AEW just showing out instead of responding to the WWE. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all they need to do. Just keep doing you. Mm-hmm. Tony don't have to say nothing because WWE's imploding within itself.
Yep. Tony, I about to say, whoever has Tony's phone, please keep it. We don't need Tony saying anything. Be at the draft. Be at the because I think he was probably at the NFL draft. But anywho, nevertheless,
he was.
See, we don't need TK doing anything stupid. Let him just silence is golden. It says a lot.
Well, you see, Old Nettie says, SP3, you got to wear a Wrestling Observer shirt while on camera to top it off. Now, I'm wearing a Will Ospreay United Empire shirt because United Empire is also imploding before our eyes as well. So it's a crazy week when you got WWE with the biggest dick measuring contest in the history of wrestling. You got TNA firing their management every 2 months. You got New Japan with Gaijin stars leaving the company and then talking a whole bunch of shit, and their significant others talking a whole bunch of shit on social media. It's an insane week when AEW is the only company with no backstage problems.
You know, that's wow. Yeah. This whole week you don't have to even have any AEW news. And I'm happy, like you said, just to keep it as is. Don't say a word. Just keep it as is. Just have your wrestlers do all of the work. And you guys will succeed. I promise you.
We got our good brother Davion in the chat saying, good morning, THH and chat. Another wild week in wrestling. Can't wait to talk about it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We also got Christopher Kidd who says AEW is on their own stuff and it's showing their growth. Mm-hmm. Just not showing growth in the ratings department because NBA playoffs always bitch out AEW.
I'm about to say it's a sad time right now because the NBA and it's only round one and round one has been cooking.
Yeah, they've been doing really well in the ratings. Vala says TK is finally in a position to be happy with what they're doing, and we are happy for him. we are definitely happy for him. But keep coming with those comments in the comment section. Keep coming with those super chat donations. Once again, like I said, members, Patreon backers, and anyone who sends a super chat, first come, first serve for our call-in portion of the show. But we got to start things off with a loss in the wrestling community, in the wider sports community, as we lost one of the low-key one of my favorites from mainly because I did True Rewind and I got to hear the hilarious stylings of him on the headset on commentary, and then got to see his transition into the ring. But he was also a former NFL player. It's Steve Mongo McMichael, unfortunately passed away this week after a 4-year battle with ALS. He was put into a hospice earlier this week, and then hours later it was announced by Walter Payton that we lost Steve Mongo McMichael. He was a part of the legendary championship Chicago Bears of the 80s before he made his transition into the world of sports entertainment and wrestling at WrestleMania 11, being in the corner of Lawrence Taylor during this matchup against Bam Bam Bigelow. He was also a part of WCW during the early stages of WCW Nitro on the commentary team. He was on the commentary team for about almost the first year of WCW Nitro before he made the transition, tag teaming with Kevin Green against the Four Horsemen at Great American Bash 1996, where he turned heel thanks to the money and the persuasion of his ex-wife Deborah McMichael, becoming a member of the Four Horsemen. He wrestled in WCW for a number of years after that, winning the United States Championship. What happened?
Deborah been around the block then.
This is not the time, Krssi Love. Goddamn.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Continue. I'm sorry. Damn. Okay.
Steve Mongo
that went over
McMichael's
my head. I'm sorry.
Steve Mongo McMichael's last appearance in wrestling was at the 2008 TNA Bound for Glory, where he was the special guest referee in the Monsters Ball matchup. Definitely someone that is going to be missed throughout the sports and the wrestling community. Any memories of Steve Mongo McMichael that you want to mention here? Sending our tribute to him today. So RIP, and of course, thoughts and condolences out to the family, the friends, and the fans of Steve Mongo McMichael. Josh, we'll start with you. Any Mongo memories you got?
I remember when I was watching WCW, I used to see him a lot, and then I found out he was a football player. I found out because of the Lawrence Taylor match, like when they were coming out, and when they showed Steve McMichael, I was like, wait, he used to be a football player, and that's why I found out like he was on the Bears team, and he had a full career, and luckily last year he was actually inducted into the Hall of Fame, into the National Football Hall of Fame. In regards to everything wrestling wise, I know there was a lot of stuff that a lot of people did joke about because, he was probably entertaining, not on purpose, because, some of the stuff he did in the ring, but he was a credible name, in two different avenues, in football and in wrestling, in his own right, regardless of what others may think when it comes to that. It's unfortunate just because the last few years he was dealing with ALS. So it's one of those things where, it's sad to see him go, but there's a part of me that I'm glad that he gets to rest. He finally gets to rest. He's no more in pain, and also, again, he got into the Football Hall of Fame. He was still around when that happened. So, as sad it is that he's gone, at least, there's some closure that he got when it comes to when it came to like his profession, to what he did for years.
Absolutely agree there. So yeah, thoughts and prayers to anyone who is related to Mongo, or a fan of Mongo, or friend of Mongo. Like, my best memories is his commentary, and always having to write down the crazy stuff he used to say on commentary. He's one of the greatest, so bad that he's hilarious commentators in wrestling history.
He joins Booker T.
No, it was something different because he used to have his dog Pepe with him. So he's like our producer in the back end saying he's reunited with Pepe. So glad to see that. But yeah, he just used to say crazy stuff, not be a hornball and be excited about women wrestling like Booker. But yes, we got some love in the chat. Also, Christopher Kidd popped me with this. He says, "Damn, Deborah catching strays. Very accurate and deserving, but strays nonetheless."
Yo, that was crazy though. I was like, yo.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. I didn't know that, but very accurate nevertheless. Sorry.
Nevertheless, but yes.
Sorry, Deborah. If you watch the show, I apologize. I shouldn't have said it. Sorry.
You know, Dion. I agree with Dion. He's like, come on, guys. She was only with 2 guys that we know of, and she married them. It's not like she was Lita. LOL.
True, Dion. Very true. Yes, you're right. I'm sure Jeff Jarrett was there too at one point.
I mean, she did.
You know what? I'm not talking no more. I'm not.
That was
not
wild.
gonna do
That was wild. That's wild.
I'm not saying it. I'm not talking no more. I'm sorry.
She's grieving right now. She
was that her last husband? No, Stone Cold was her last husband. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll go and shout y'all out as we usually do with our Tru Heel roll call. Our top 3 conversation starters on our Tru Heels group page. You got number 3, the Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. Number 2, Joe Bellini. And number 1, Stewie John Palmer. Our Patreon backers, you got Valub, you got Alan Weinstein, Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, Professor Chris, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John Martin, Dolores, James, Alan, Santo, I Make Beats, and Justin Rich. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, and the best way to do it, the best way to support us when we are not live here. And yes, Davion, yes, I agree. We was trying to be serious, and Krssi says a wild comment. It's like she's just getting back too. She's just getting started. Look at this. Ridiculous. But let's talk about the week that was with what we missed. We gotta start off, of course, with last weekend WWE WrestleMania 41, nights 1 and 2. Night 1 featured Seth freaking Rollins, surprising the hell out of all of us who did predictions, defeating Roman Reigns and CM Punk in an absolutely tremendous triple threat main event. But it was thanks in large part to the one and only wise man, the one and only best friend in the world, Paul Heyman, low blowing and betraying both Punk and Roman to align with Rollins in a dramatic betrayal that will go down as one of the better endings to a WrestleMania main event of all time, as Seth Rollins picked up the victory, surprising the world here. Indeed. Then you also had Tiffany Stratton. She actually pulled off an upset herself, beat Charlotte Flair to retain the WWE Women's Championship in the semi-main event. We had new champions being crowned on the show as Jacob Fatu defeated LA Knight, in a very good match to win the United States Championship. The New Day beat the War Raiders to win the World Tag Team Championships. Jade Cargill picked up a win over Naomi in their grudge match. El Grande Americano defeated Rey Fenix in a battle of the Luchadors after Rey replaced Rey Mysterio, who suffered an injury that we talked about on last week's show. And Jey Uso beat Gunther in a good opener to the show to win the World Heavyweight Championship, to the surprise of many of us, with a goddamn sleeper making Gunther top out. Post-match, Jay celebrated with not only the fans but his twin brother, day one-ish, Jimmy Uso. But that was just night 1 of the 2-night event, because night 2 featured one of the greatest Mania openers of all time, and one of, if not the best women's match in WrestleMania history as Io Sky defeated Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley in a spectacular triple threat matchup to retain the WWE Women's World Championship. This was rated by Dave Meltzer, got the coveted 5-star rating. A perfect matchup from Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave beating the allegations, as well as Io Sky has really proven to be the best wrestler in WWE today. Drew McIntyre picked up a win over Damian Priest in a very fun Sin City street fight that followed up from the triple threat matchup. Then following that, you had Dominic Mysterio becoming the most popular superstar in all of Las Vegas as he beat Finn Balor, Penta, and Bron Breakker in an awesome four-way matchup to win the Intercontinental Championship. We had some surprises on night 2 as well, as Joe Hendry made his Mania debut by answering the open challenge of Randy Orton. Orton picking up the win in a quick bout as he showed respect to the TNA World Champion post-match before laying him out with an RKO and stealing his pose as well at the same time. Becky Lynch made her surprise return after replacing Bayley in the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship matchup, teaming up with Lyra Valkyria to beat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Logan Paul defeated AJ Styles in a one-on-one matchup. You had John Cena beat Cody Rhodes to make history in the main event, winning his record-breaking 17th WWE Championship in what might be one of the most creatively panned WrestleMania main events of all time, featuring a referee bump, featuring Travis Scott, both coming out and then getting Crossroads, as well as a tainted finish where Cody Rhodes was unable to use the WWE Championship against John Cena, leading to Cena low blowing him and hitting him with the title himself to win his coveted number 17. So that was WrestleMania 41, nights 1 and 2. Krssi Love, me and Josh have talked a bunch about it on check out our night 1 and night 2 reviews that we did. What was the Sunday and Monday? So we want to hear from you. What did you think about WrestleMania this year?
WrestleMania was terrible.
Tell us how you really feel.
Everyone is saying it. It's like
I was choked.
Thank God.
It was terrible.
Thank God for the main event. The guys over-delivered. I was so happy that they did a tremendous main event ending to night 1. The women delivered and opened. It was all right. We can't close neither show. We will open this show with a banger, and we will out wrestle most of these fucking people on this fucking roster, in all these matches that was on this fucking card. Absolutely tremendous for them. We didn't need the New Day match. They could have gave the Street Profits and DIY and all of them that slot right there.
I'd rather them get the 20 something minutes that they got last night instead of a 10-minute match at WrestleMania, to be honest. If they're just gonna like that, I think that people go too far and say, maybe War Raiders and New Day shouldn't have gotten that spot, but you do have to realize that if that spot was taken by the Street Profits, DIY, and Motor City Machine Guns, it would still be a 10-minute matchup.
Fine, okay, and they wouldn't have been able to showcase and deliver and give that the performance that they gave last night. Fair, fine. That's okay. Jey Uso winning. Great for him. I want to see what happens now. Who's going to be your next opponent? What else happened on the card? Logan Paul beating AJ Styles, terrible. Did Tiffany get her teeth fixed? I want to know that.
Yes, she did. She got it right after the.
Damn, they have a dental person on site. Shit.
Yeah.
Like money will buy you everything. I guess, whatever. But shocked about that. I was actually very happy about Dirty Dom winning. I marked out. I was like, look at this nigga. This nigga showed up maybe before the pandemic, and look at his ass now. Great shit. He was his dad's shadow, and now he's surpassed it. And look at him. He's great. Poor Bailey. I felt bad for Bailey. Bailey doesn't deserve this. Bailey didn't deserve that. We could have replaced Lyra and had them two do it then, if that's the fucking case.
Well, no, it made sense for Lyra because they're both from Ireland and stuff like that. But I was happy to see Becky, but it did leave a bad taste in my mouth that it had to come at the expense of Bailey.
Right, exactly. And again, very happy to see Becky. Becky looks great. Happy to see them on. They was on the post show at the conference or whatever. Really cute, really good. But why does Bailey always got to get the shit end of the fucking stick? It's not right. It's really not fair. And she takes it with a chins up and tits out and everything, and she's okay. Like you'll never hear her say anything ill will or bad. She probably says it in the background, but you'll never hear her say anything bad, which I can respect about because it's her job or whatever. But she's always like getting the shit end of the stick, even like when her last run wasn't that good. It was very subpar how they ran her for her last run for when she was champion. Really not cool, but whatever. Overall, 2 nights of WrestleMania. Can I just talk about the set? The set was actually really, really dope. The fact that they had people sitting up there, people paid for that. SP told me. I was like, what? The fuck? They have people paying mortgages to sit up there. Great seats, though. I mean, they had cushions, like real, like VIP shit. Like I don't think I would have paid for it, but I would have loved it if someone got me a ticket for it. But whatever. And then the people that sat above it and felt all those flames and all those pyros and all that shit like that. That's pretty dope. Were they standing up there or were they sitting?
I think they had seats up there.
They had seats on that part too. Okay.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, and then the whole was it all supposed to be like dominoes that came down and had like the people faces on it? Or they just was like just
it was like banners.
Banners. Okay. Very nice. Loved it. I loved when Roman came out and they showed like his whole family on it. I was like, that's pretty fucking dope. But loved the kudos to a great WrestleMania set. The show, on the other hand, was trash. Happy I did not go. But I had a great time on my cruise. Thanks.
Well, that's good. That's good. We have put the link in the chat, so some of you can join us. Like I said, we tagged the people who have already sent a super chat donation to start the show off hot, like Christopher Kidd, who sends a super chat donation saying WrestleMania began with the men 3-way and ended with the women's 3-way. Can't believe it took 8 hours for just 2 matches, but hey, for $4.99 on Peacock, I'll take it.
Listen, and shit, I don't even think it's. You better check your credentials, Christopher, because it ain't $4.99 no more. Them shits went up.
Yeah, they probably charging him more. He don't even know it. He don't even know
right.
it.
I'm about to say because it's and now it's like at a running maybe like $13.99. I want to say. So I don't know about $4.99, bro. That was when it was originally first started. Not now, but just check your invoices. Whatever you have it roll out. It's probably on auto pay like mine. But yeah, check it, Chris.
And we also got Andreas Gaming. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Scroll up, Andreas Gaming, and you can join us. Just have your camera on. That's all we ask. You don't have to keep it PG because this is Tru Heel Heat. We've never kept it PG ever since we brought Krssi Love on, but we appreciate her for that. But we got Jody.
Not really. Talk to JJ.
Also true. That's true. Like since episode 1.
I just increased it.
First up, joining us is the person who suggested us do a call-in episode this week because he said he would be available this week. Joining us, we got Volop here. He hasn't 300. How you doing, Volop?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me? Is it all fine? Am I muted?
Yes. We hear you. Great. You just seem farther from the mic. I don't know if you have to move up a bit, but you sound. No, we hear you.
It's the headphone mic, so I can't really do much.
No worries. How you feeling?
Uh, I'm all right, I guess. It's been tough.
Aw.
But yeah, I've had a rough couple of weeks. I hope WrestleMania would be great, but yeah.
So let us know what's
Uh,
your overall thoughts on WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. What was the better night? What was your match of the weekend?
Match of the weekend. Uh, you know, I watched a lot of the GCW Collective shows as well. I'm trying to pick out. Honestly, it's actually the Joey Janela Sabu match.
I don't blame you because I said this the other day when I was on In the Weeds. I was like, someone was like, oh, well, one of the worst matches was Sabu and Joey Janela. It's like, no, it wasn't. It was so bad, it was good. It was so outrageous
Exactly.
and wild. It was so good to watch.
No,
There was a lot
if
worse
you
matches.
remember,
Yeah.
if you remember, while we were on In the Weeds, I said it was going to be a vanilla crumble of some kind, and I, I mean, like I was hoping someone would die. I wasn't sure, but yeah. But overall, I think the weekend match of WrestleMania obviously is the biggest favorite. Fantastic match. Like Io is obviously one of the greatest wrestlers. Io, Mario, Sai, everyone else is just a level below that. But yeah, that's
Yeah, Io, man, she had one of her best matches ever, and I've seen a lot of her Stardom stuff, and before she got to WWE, and she did great in NXT. But that performance within itself, she was absolutely flawless. She was perfect in that matchup. Like I gave the matchup 4 3/4 stars, but I was literally after the second time I watched it, I went to Jimmy. I was like, I might go 5. And I knew I kind of knew Dave Meltzer was gonna give it 5 because that's what. But I was like, you know what? I'm being conservative this year. I'm trying to be conservative because Jimmy says I give too many 5-star matches. But that's one that I wish I would have gave the 5 stars.
I don't know. Dave is on something. Dave is finally catching up. I don't know what he's on, but he's finally catching up.
He heard all the shit we've been talking that he gets a woman's tax. And he's putting the tax back on. He's giving them the extra star. I mean, he was kind of ridiculous. Me and Scott brought it up on the Stardom preview. The trios matchup from Stardom, that wasn't a 5-star matchup, but that was him literally trying to beat the allegations.
That he don't get 5 stars.
That was him.
Yeah.
With Dave specifically, I think what has changed is that now, and even the women's fight, this the triple threat. It's not just the women tax, it's a WWE tax.
Yeah.
So they beat all sorts of odds to get that 5 stars. And well deserved, but there was Sasha Bailey from TKO. There was like now you have to I always said the first 5-star Dave gives, you have to start matching up to the other matches that you missed on. So it has to be really good. And this makes a bar, but I don't think it makes that bar. Like, I'm sure 3 of the matches in the All-Star Grand Kingdom that is on tomorrow are probably going to be better. I know Mayu Shuri is going to be awesome. If they let Shuri work well. Because I don't know what is going on Start. They just don't want to book Shuri. Karo Okada, get your shit together. What's going on? Look at it.
Dave's given like 2 WWE matches 5 stars this year, so he's not even putting the WWE tax anymore.
He's opening up. I don't know why he's opening up. I think he's giving less to AEW and giving more to WWE with some allegations.
He's spreading the wealth. That's what it's called. He's trying to beat all the allegations.
If he was being true to himself, he says CMLL is his favorite promotion. I think they rate matches from CMLL. He's never seen great matches from CMLL. But he says it's his favorite promotion. Okay. If you run Arena Mexico every week, you sell it out. which they'll be selling out for a while now. Thanks WWE. But okay.
So you got some love in the chat for you, Vala. We got another person in the back end, so we want to give you the chance, Vala. Let everybody know where they can follow you, where they can see you again, and if they can just see you in the chat with us, like you always are, we always appreciate you. So we're glad you could come on the show today, good brother. But we want to give you the solo so you can let everybody know where to follow you.
Follow me on Blue Sky. It's blindrar at psky.social, or you can follow me on Twitter, which is blindrar at Twitter. I'll put the link on the chat.
There we go. Yes, follow Vala. He's always one of our big supporters here on the channel. So we appreciate you coming through today, good brother. Always showing us love. So want to show you love by having you on here today. There? Appreciate you. Yeah, what time is it in India?
It's 9:30 p.m.
Look at this man. We're his prime time viewing. He's got us on in the prime time. We appreciate you.
Damn, and we be having you on here for like 3-4 hours, bro. It's gonna be late by the time we finish. Shit.
You know, once you lie down in bed, you just get comfortable and. And I'm dedicated. Well, that is right. I'm dedicated.
We appreciate it, man.
I would
Always showing
like
love.
To continue grinding. I want to get involved in the business. So this might be a start for me.
There you go. Support Vala. Everything he does. Follow him on Blue Sky. Thank you, Vala, for joining us today, man. See you later. All right, we got a next one joining us here in the back end. Another one who gave us a super chat donation. We got Christopher Kidd joining us today. Good to see you, good sir.
What's going on, people?
How are you?
Good to see you, man. How's everything?
Good. Everything is well. I was on my way to the barbershop. I wasn't expecting this today, but I said, let me pull over so I can jump on and talk to the people.
He hitting us up before he get the lineup, before he get the shape up and stuff, man. I see you. How you feeling?
Because I want to talk about WrestleMania because I don't watch WWE anymore as much as I did like all my life. But me and my wife, we go to all the live events whenever they come to Norfolk, Virginia and stuff. So I'll be going to AEW next week when they're here.
Oh, but
nice.
WrestleMania is the one event that I always put in my calendar. I'm going to set the time aside to watch. And I was more than disappointed this year. It was so bad. I volunteered to put my son to bed Saturday night.
No, Christopher, stop it. Stop.
I volunteered. No. I let my wife watch the main event on the big screen. I was so disappointed. I said I'll watch the main event after the fact. I didn't even want to watch it live. I knew it was going to be good, but I said I was in such a foul mood that I didn't even want to go into it with the disdain of everything that I had seen before that. It was horrible. It was horrible. And I've lived through WrestleMania since 97. So since shit itself, I've watched all the WrestleManias. And this is right up there with that, minus the 2 3-ways. And the irony is that they closed and opened the show with that. So they were the back-to-back. Everything before, everything after was trash.
Yes.
Trash.
Yes.
WrestleMania SmackDown and WrestleMania Raw.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I think that was the real thing with, like, especially night one. Nothing felt worthy of being at WrestleMania until the main event. So that made it really hard. And then I got heat from Top Guy JJ and Romeo because I called out night two. Night two started off great, and then it fell off a cliff.
Fell off a cliff. And all the hate that AEW gets for their long shows in one night, I'll sit through 8 hours of whatever AEW is giving me before I sit through 8 hours on 2 nights. I dedicated a weekend. An entire weekend. I could have been on date nights. I could have been doing whatever else. I could have been doing anything else and watched those 2 matches at a different time. I was more than disappointed. And Triple H talking all that stuff after the fact, go to hell. Go to hell. Where's my disclaimer?
And it was Easter weekend
These
too.
words
Like,
do not represent Tru Heel Heat. They represent Christopher Kidd, wrestling's new kid. But this is a mess.
Listen,
Yeah.
the poor people that had to spend their Easter there. Terrible.
Easter 420. I was high as a kite on Sunday. Didn't save it. Didn't save it. Didn't save it. There was nothing that could save that.
It's rough out here. It's rough out here. I mean, we kind of should have known because the build was so lackluster. But I think that we tried to compare it to like WrestleMania 31, which had a weak build, and then the show itself actually delivered. But that was in the era of a one-night WrestleMania. I said it on Twitter, and I'll say it here. There are elements of these two shows that if you just put it in one show, it's probably a great WrestleMania. But the fact that it's spread across two different shows in 8 hours and like only like it's not even half of the matches. Maybe like 40% of the matches was worth being at WrestleMania. That's the issue.
Horrible. Horrible.
I don't know how they're going to do for SummerSlam. I'm afraid.
The Triple H era to the Vince McMahon era. Like, Triple H's era is good comparatively to Vince McMahon. Okay, we accept that. Now, Triple H, what you're doing is not good.
No.
No. It's not good.
It's basically trying to compare an English essay from someone who's graduating high school to a second grader. So of course, it's gonna look better. It's better writing. They know different words. They have better writing, but it's not that good. This person is not graduating with honors. They've missed a whole bunch of classes. They tried to give us the same paper a few different times. Like
they slept with the boss's daughter to get a good grade.
They slept with the principal's daughter.
Oh, thank you so much, Christopher, for joining us today. Appreciate you dropping in. Me. Don't want to hold you from the haircut for too long, but we want to give you the floor. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media. They can see you in the chat, or where they can see you next.
So I'll always be in the chat. Definitely on Thursdays for A Ramble. I'm always there, and I try to catch the flagship show whenever I can. On Instagram, you can follow me at the Kid Learning Academy. I'm an academic advisor, and I'm an academic tutor for grades 6 through 12 in math and math, English, history, and all those things. You can follow me there. And soon I'll be posting a new page called Wrestling's New Kid. So be on the lookout for that.
That's dope. That's dope. Doing good work out here, man. Enjoy that haircut. We want to see you fresh and new. Next week,
fresh and new.
Thanks for coming on.
Y'all have a good one.
Peace. All right. Two good ones, too. We got Vala, we got Christopher Kidd. I sent the link again for Andreas, who's showing us some love in the chat as well. But yes, we got Andreas, who just became a member as well. Andreas Gaming, thank you so much, Andreas, for being a part of the team. We got him sending a super chat donation. He says, SP3 is my faves podcaster. He's a gorgeous, real man. Wow, you're gonna get my missus jealous, man. My missus will get jealous calling me gorgeous out here. But thank you, Andreas. Appreciate you for that. And also he sent a second super chat donation saying, "Oops" or "ops," typo in that. Sorry, no worries, Andreas. Appreciate all the support in the chat today. We got a whole bunch of people showing us some love here. A very active chat this morning. We got Chilling with Jace, who says Vegas is cursed. LOL. He says I blame the Raiders. We also got some love in the chat for Christopher Kidd, who saying Davion saying Christopher Kidd equals the GOAT. Indeed. We also got here. We got Valop, who says thanks for letting me be the Joshi fan that I am. Of course. We always appreciate you, man. They're always good to see you. All to see all the great people in the chat today. And yes, to our producer asking, can I delete these WrestleMania pictures? Yes, go right ahead. I'm busy manning everything with the chat and our guest today, so go right ahead, my good sir. We got Davion who says this is great content, laugh my ass off. We got Frantic World says this is too funny. We got Frantic World also saying now WWE about to have 2 nights of SummerSlam SMH. Yeah, I don't know if the making everything 2 nights is gonna work, Josh, but you've had a week to kind of think about your thoughts on WrestleMania. You said at the top of the show it was a good week for you, but not so much for WWE. So what's your thoughts now on the 2-night WrestleMania this year?
The 2-night WrestleMania this year, honestly, like when I was watching it, right? So I was watching along. I remember watching night 1. And in my mind, at night 1, I was just like, man, this shit is like pretty mid. Like, you know, you're waiting for something to happen. And I'm just like, fuck, like, nothing's really going on until the main event. The main event basically ended up saving the show from being a completely thumbs down for me. And I still feel the same way about that. Night 2, I was very generous at first, like right off the gate. I was very generous where I was just like, hey, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. Just because it was a step up from night 2, but then when I started looking at it, and then when we started doing the review, I noticed like I had the same issues too, where I was like, yeah, after that Orton and Joe Hendry stuff, it did kind of fall off a cliff, because the Logan Paul and AJ Styles match was boring. Becky Lynch coming back was more about the moment, and then the match was just, it was what it was. And for me, it makes it even lower for what they did the night after. And then we had the main event. The main event, I mean, I was like more disappointed with that because again, John Cena hasn't had a good match in years, right? And I think we could all agree with that. He hasn't had like a great top-notch John Cena performance in years. And then when it came to this, I don't know. Like I was just like, what the fuck was this? Like when you watch like his performance, it was just bad. It was a bad match. It was terrible. And then, you know, you added Travis Scott, and when you realized Dwayne was not coming out, you only had Travis Scott. He didn't add nothing to the match because he wasn't the outcome of the match that had Cena win the match in the first place. So to me, that made it even worse. So like when people were trying to say how Travis Scott made it like worse, like I could see where people were coming from. But my point when it came to that was that I was just like, yo, it was like, didn't bother me as much because the match was just bad. There was no saving the match. And I don't care what anyone says. Even if you have The Rock come out, The Rock was not going to save a bad match. Like, it was just a bad performance. And then you had, like, the finish that it had where they made Cody look like a dumbass. And then Cena beats him with one dick kick, belt, headshot to the head with the belt. And then that was a match. It was over. Yeah. And the problem with that is that I know a lot of people were trying to say, oh, that they did this, it was a callback, whatever the case may be. Fuck that. We're in 2025. We're in 2025. And WWE has made it a thing where none of these things matter that much anymore. Somebody gets hit with a fucking belt, they kick out. They fucking kick out. WWE made that a thing now. So you're telling me that one headshot to the head with a belt was it? That's how we finished Cody Rhodes' run, over a year run. Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns, who was the champion for over 1,300 days. That's how he loses it? All right, cool. And as much as I like the fact that, Cena got number 17, right? I'm happy about that. But the match sucked, and it's okay to say that the match sucked. I know a lot of people are excited about it. Oh, Cena got number 17. I couldn't be that excited because the match was terrible. And I'm like, I got to call it like it is. It was bad.
Match was terrible. Poor Cody Rhodes again had now lost because of foolishness, and people don't know how to put their fucking pride and shit aside. They make him be in the books now, and he's gonna do this horrible run. It's not. I'm not excited about it at all. I think it's gonna be terrible. Let your last run be stupid. Fine, whatever.
Shit, if that's what we got from Sunday, I'm not looking forward to.
Right, exact that part. He hasn't had his dad. He might as well invest in getting his hair better than fucking have number fucking 17.
Well, he got the hair transplant. That's why it looked better. He wasn't wiping his hair back.
It's still a bald spot back there.
Yeah, but still better. We got Volub who says, I'm starting to think like I'm 20% on this, that Hunter might be ousted from the company by the end of the year. Chilling with Chase responded, Volub, nah, he's safe. He is there. Dana White does not have a fucking Hollywood. He doesn't have Mark Wahlberg trying to push him out or trying to push blame on him.
Yeah,
that's a bad comparison. Dana White does not have anyone like The Rock, which is the perfect transition to talk about all the drama coming out of WrestleMania this week. During an appearance on the Pat McAfee show, the big missing link to the main event of WrestleMania that we've been talking about, The Rock shared his insight on his absence from WrestleMania 41, including why he stepped away from the build of WrestleMania after appearing at Elimination Chamber Toronto. The premium live event saw John Cena attack Cody Rhodes at the direction of The Rock. Cena, The Rock, and Travis Scott all stood tall over the beaten Cody Rhodes at the end of the event. The Rock informed Pat McAfee that he thought that it was best for him to step away from the build to Rhodes versus Cena at this year's WrestleMania. And he said, and I quote, on Ari Emanuel calling him to appear at Elimination Chamber, I got a call about a month before Elimination Chamber. I get a call from Ari Emanuel, who owns TKO. He said, we need help at Elimination Chamber. Ticket sales a little slow, but beyond that, what we are finding is it's become the pay-per-view that is interesting. Fans have had fun, but it's also the conduit to WrestleMania. How do we create an elimination chamber that people must tune in to see? How do we create that? Right now, we don't have that. Will the final boss show up? I said, let me give it some thought and I'll get back to you. I gave it some thought. I got back to Ari, Triple H, and Nick, and we had a call. On his idea about the final boss asking for Cody's soul, he said, I have an idea. The most important thing to the final boss isn't money, titles, fame. Been there, done that, and grateful for that. The final boss wants your soul. And what does that mean? That doesn't mean the final boss wants you to act like this or be like this at his beck and call, or treat you like crap, or make you do all these things that are unbecoming and or embarrassing. And on what happened at Elimination Chamber, he said, and I quote, that's not how the final boss flies. What that means is whatever dreams Cody Rhodes has, whatever ambitions, even if they're dark, amazing, full of light, scary, whatever they are, you tell the final boss and he makes it all happen. And when it comes to giving the final boss your soul, that is what you want, not what the final boss wants. What does the final boss get out of that? Your soul for life. Now we goes into Elimination Chamber with this idea of, will Cody Rhodes sell his soul to the final boss? My thought at the time was it was a litmus test to see how the fans will respond if Cody sold his soul to the final boss. Let's get a temperature check on this, establish it, anchor it in, and you come to find out that they were a lot of fans saying, sell your soul. I was an advocate of that. Not turning heel soon, but eventually down the line. I like the idea of that because Cody is a smart and intelligent guy, a ring general, and this idea that you give him a reason to turn way down the road, you give him a reason to turn, not based on titles, but it's his soul and what that means, that affects generations. It's transcended beyond pro wrestling. Fans were loving it. They were? The Rock on how they picked John Cena turning heel. He says, as we got closer to Elimination Chamber, we were kicking ideas around. Myself, Triple H, Nick, my team. Triple H said, what about John turning? I said, I love it. The next question is talking to John and see how he feels about it. John loved the idea of turning heel. But he said there is an anchor that he was going to root it in, which was a real thing he's experienced over the past 25 years. When we were moving forward with John and this idea that we would crown him at 17 and being a heel champion, I knew then the best thing for the final boss, we've established this idea of Cody's soul. We can always come back to it. I did feel, and I made the... Yes. Oh, they are. You feel the same way about the final boss. Okay. The final boss said, I did feel, and I made the call. I don't want to be involved in that. Let the final boss step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John and Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul or John's soul. Let's let them do what they do. I called John after Elimination Chamber. I called Cody and I said, I think the final boss work is done. We've established it. We just pulled off the greatest angle in the history of pro wrestling, other than Hulk Hogan turning heel. We have 6 weeks. Now let's build. You guys go and crush it. I'll be right there with you. I'm always here if you need me, but I think it's best for the final boss not to be involved in that finish. On how WWE planned for the finish of WrestleMania 41, he says they had 6 weeks to plan for that. I love the finish of the matchup. I would have finessed things a little differently on how they got there, but that's just me, creatively. Ultimately, the bottom line is I love John getting 17. I never had a concern about John pulling this off. My thoughts were always to Cody and what we've established with him and his story and the kind of babyface that he is. If done right, finesse right, and nuance right, down the road, that guy not only has an incredible run as a babyface champion, but also as an unheard of run as a heel down the road. On if there was a conversation around having him appear during the build or the actual match, he said no. They don't have to say anything like that to me. They know when I come to them and lay this out, here's how I feel it should go. We can insert the final boss into the end of this finish, but then where do we go? There are other commitments that I have, and I want to be careful that we're not overstepping. I can get involved in the finish, but why get involved in the finish when the spotlight should just be on John? 17, heel champion. What does 2025 look like if this man is saying he's going to ruin pro wrestling? That to me is the anchoring storyline. It's not soul right now, it's not, but we'll go back to it. I was surprised to see Travis Scott as well. And the moment I saw Travis, it immediately amplified, here comes the final boss. They were waiting. I love John Cena, heel champion. The GOAT says he's going to ruin wrestling. Some parts of it, I would have just adjusted. Basically, throwing Triple H under the bus, ladies and gentlemen. Fightful Select had some details on the reaction of WWE talent to things that The Rock had said this week and the backlash it has received online. Several talent said The Rock was not at television or on TV or at WrestleMania and didn't do any promotion for the event, not even on social media. Another talent said that he didn't bother tweeting about WrestleMania, but was quick to go on a podcast and talk about slow ticket sales and things he had issues with on the show. Rock said in the interview with Pat McAfee that his Elimination Chamber appearance earlier this year was to help ticket sales. Another talent backed that up as he was considered a huge boost for sales backstage. Before that, creative sources indicated that they were told to work on the premise that The Rock would not be appearing at the show. Many thought that would change after the events of Elimination Chamber, but were still told not to feature him heavily in promos. One longtime talent and the roster said that the roster enjoys having The Rock around, but added that a comment from a top talent last year that the card is at the mercy of Dwayne pulls him in both directions. One person believed that The Rock didn't want to interfere with WrestleMania plans like last year, but possibly didn't understand how much the story needed him. Another talent described it as an overcorrection after Rock was inserted into plans last year. People on social media have speculated about issues between The Rock and Triple H, but several talents said that if that were the case, the roster hasn't heard about it. There have always been issues of a respectful, but at times contentious relationship and rivalry between the two. Overall, the talent wasn't really frustrated with The Rock's absence nor his podcast comments, but were instead confused. One talent said, "We all found it kind of weird that he didn't promote the show at all." Another talent referenced The Rock telling Dave LaGreca this week after Dave LaGreca had a whole rant about the end of WrestleMania and the fact that The Rock wasn't around. The Rock replied that everything is a work. Every interview, every match, it's all a work. If you want to be involved in the creative discussions between myself, Brian, Cody, and the rest of us, you can, and you can add your perspective, but you shouldn't be ranting. Just watch and be a fan, basically echoing what Triple H said in interviews ahead of WrestleMania. Another talent asked, "What does that mean? Is he working every time he stops by and talks to us backstage too? Was that Pat McAfee interview a work even though he specified he wasn't in character?" According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE sources with knowledge of long-term storyline plans denied that all of this, with the Rock saying that he wanted Cody to turn heel and John Cena being the second option. They denied that this is what is going to happen. So The Rock thought he was fixing something, and he just made this an even bigger clusterfuck. Krssi, I know this is probably your first time hearing about the whole Rock interview since you've been away. What do you think about The Rock not being at WrestleMania and then his explanation on the Pat McAfee show?
Definitely should have made his way there, or been in you're one of the board members, so you have to know when WrestleMania is happening. You should be, even if you're not going to come out, you should have still kind of been in the you could have been in the box. You don't have to come and show up.
He didn't want to. He was in Hawaii.
I know he wasn't doing shit. You could have got on your jet and still got back home in time to get back with your kids later that evening. I promise you. They do it all the time on fight nights. And you was only coming for one night, which was Sunday. So you saying you didn't know Travis was there, or you saw Travis was there, I find that very hard to believe. I'm sorry.
I mean, the reason why this Pat McAfee interview is going to be looked back on and talked about so much is because The Rock, he had a nugget of a lie, but he intertwined it with a whole bunch of truths.
Okay.
No, truths. It's a lot of truth is said in this. When has WWE ever admitted to having low ticket sales or slow ticket sales?
Never.
That's the truth. Yeah. They never do that. WWE's hotter than it's ever been. Tickets are flying off the shelves. This is all good. Rock told the truth.
Yeah,
Rock told the truth.
I do believe. They begged him. I do believe. I believe they said, "Yo, we not selling these tickets. We need some." And that's their fault. You know why? Because from Royal Rumble, the whole thing has been lackluster. The whole build to come into WrestleMania, you have 2.5-3 months to get this shit on the road, and you couldn't even do that.
Yeah. It's the fact that they're charging an arm and a leg
to go to these shows.
A fucking mortgage. On average, I think WrestleMania tickets the average ticket was $400.
That's terrible, son. I'm afraid to look ridiculous. At SummerSlam. I don't even know if I want to invest my time for that.
It's ridiculous.
I think I just want to stay in my house and watch the 2 nights in my home. Because it's not even guaranteed. It's going to be something to invest. I mean, it was great to see Cardi B's going to be there, but what are they going to have her do? The same shit they made Sexy Red do?
I mean, probably, but
just, I'm just saying,
this is and then him basically admitting that the main event wasn't that good and that he would have finessed things a little bit better. He would have adjusted
terrible.
things a little
Yes.
bit better. That is him throwing Triple H under the bus. He threw him under the bus with the slow ticket sales because yes, creative is a part of this, why it's moving so slow. Because when Triple H was doing well, there did not have any problems with slow ticket sales. But I feel like I'm fucking Negro Damas at this point because I said 2024 was the last great year of Triple H creatively, and nothing that I've seen in 2025 outside of a few swerves and big moments like John Cena turning heel that wasn't even the plan to begin with. Those are the only thing that really made me go like, okay, he's actually doing something. And Raw after WrestleMania. That's about it.
Yes. That's it. Other than that, you get no flowers, sir. Sorry.
Josh, what do you think about what The Rock had to say and this power struggle going on between Rock and Triple H?
He made things a lot worse. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
I watched the whole interview.
Did you really? Why?
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes long. You know, and he was going on like about his bullshit. He always gives like the same, like, well, what's getting annoying about The Rock is like every time he brings up like his heel turn, and it's like, bro, I've heard you say the same story like 5 times in the last 2 months. I don't need to hear it again. Like he does shit like that. Like he makes it about himself. And then when he was talking about like all this stuff, the whole thing with Ari called me up and he wanted me to be at Elimination Chamber because ticket sales were moving slow, which he's not lying about that. Tickets were not doing great at that time. However, it's more of like, why would you put that out in the universe? Like, you know, regardless of him being upfront about it, or if that was I think that was a move done on purpose. I think he wanted to make somebody look bad, and I think that person was Triple H. And he did it a few times. You know, when he talked about I think they asked him if he watched WrestleMania, and then he said he enjoyed it and he would have done things differently and all this stuff. I'm just like, damn, bro, like, whoa, what are you here for? Like, exactly.
Right. Like, what did they hire you to do?
But also, like, everything before that was kind of telling for me personally, because for one, he didn't promote WrestleMania at all. He didn't promote it not once, right? And it's not only he didn't promote it not once, but even the weekend of WrestleMania, he said absolutely nothing about it, right? Everyone was talking about the fact that he was wearing the New Japan shirt looking at a fucking Rubik's Cube. That's what people were talking about a week before WrestleMania, right? Yeah. No promotion, no mention of anything, no mention of what was going on. But then all of a sudden on Monday, the thing comes out, the advertisement of, The Rock is going to be on Pat McAfee's show on Tuesday. How come that was at this point? How come that was promoted? Yeah, you didn't even promote WrestleMania. And
Pat
for
McAfee,
me,
right?
Yeah, and for me,
and he works for fucking people.
Yeah, and for me, it's just
that's why he was the perfect person for The Rock to talk to, because Pat wasn't going to push back on anything that The Rock was saying.
Yeah, he was gonna glaze him. He was gonna glaze the shit out of him, just like Peter Rosenberg glazed Triple H on that interview the week before. Like, it's all like, I mean, it's all like, and that's why with all like the WWE interviews and shit like this, that's why it's always funny that I believe that they probably thought, The Rock's gonna like do some damage control. He's gonna help us like clean up this mess, and he actually just made it worse. With everything. And as far as the power struggle, am I really surprised that there's a power struggle? No, it's Dwayne Johnson. He's done this everywhere he's gone, so I'm not really surprised. I'm not really surprised that there's something going on, and to his, I want to say benefit, but he does have a higher position than Triple H. I know a lot of people were speculating, like, I saw earlier in the chat about like, okay, that there's a percentage that Triple H might be gone. Somebody else said no, Triple H is fine. Me personally, I don't think he's that much fine. I think he's fine for like the most part, because what people forget too is that when Ari purchased the WWE and everything was going on, Vince McMahon was still trying to, have the same creative. Ari shut that down. Ari said no, Triple H has full control of creative. The difference is when it comes to this situation is that Ari is a lot closer with The Rock than he is with Triple H.
Yeah.
Right. He may like Triple H, but at the end of the day, if there was a choice that he had to choose, he's probably picking The Rock. Again, there's a lot of assumptions. There's a lot of speculation. There's no truth to this at all. It's just of things that we know, like outside of like their relationships and stuff like that. In regards to like Dana White still being in the UFC, when Endeavor purchased the UFC, there was an agreement that Dana White was still going to be running the ship. And in that situation, it is true. There's nobody really trying to force Dana White out. So he could basically get away with anything he wants. Right? But WWE, Ari is still new to like all this stuff, like with the wrestling business and all these things, right? He's a great businessman. Right? There's no doubt about that. He's done a lot of things that he has the reputation that he has for a reason. But in this situation, if he had to choose, he's gonna choose The Rock. Why? Because The Rock is the biggest star. He has a better relationship with The Rock, and The Rock does have closer relationships with someone like Nick Khan. That was one of his close friends even before Nick Khan got hired with WWE.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that, again, we don't know what's truly going on, but as far as the power struggle, it's not surprising because of the people who are involved. You have The Rock, you have Triple H, two guys who have massive egos. So it's like, it's not really surprising. And right now, Triple H doesn't have the leverage that The Rock has because he's not only a board member, but his job is very replaceable, regardless of what we may see. He's head of creative and head of, I believe, talent relations, right? I could be 100% wrong. Those two jobs, regardless of what people may think, they're very replaceable. You can't really replace a board member unless you do some fuckboy shit and then you get voted out, whatever the case they may be. The Rock has all the leverage when it comes to that.
Yeah, it's very true. And this whole thing, it stems back like almost 30 years. This all started when The Rock first came into WWE and Triple H and Shawn Michaels tried to bully him and keep him down and keep him underneath. They wanted to elevate Triple H and keep The Rock down at a certain level, but he was an undeniable talent, especially when he turned heel and he became a bigger star than both of these niggas. And I think that they still have animosity towards that. The Rock still has animosity towards Triple H for trying to hold him down and bullying him at that time as well. It all stems from that, but it also stems from last year because The Rock literally comes back January 1st and he teases a big matchup with Roman Reigns. But Triple H had already set in motion the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes rematch for WrestleMania 40 after WrestleMania 39. So it was a battle of that. So Triple H decides, you know what? I'm going to have Cody win the Royal Rumble. I'm going to tell Cody he should probably point to Roman Reigns that's who he's going to want to face. But The Rock comes back and he's like, well, no, I'm setting up this whole big matchup with Roman Reigns. And Triple H got his way because the fans turned on that whole idea. That was that whole big thing when they did that segment on SmackDown and Cody had the boo-boo face on, and then they did the kickoff show where Cody said he's still going for the matchup and The Rock had to turn heel. And the biggest thing is with Jimmy McAram on Thursday on AE Ramble, he reminded me of that fucking promo that Triple H did after the WrestleMania kickoff show, where he went on SmackDown and he basically did a fucking parade that he got his way. Like, na boo boo. Cody's going to WrestleMania, not you. I won, Rocky. Na boo boo. He already won, but he had to flaunt it He had to flaunt it and he had to brag in his face. And I think Jimmy was right. Jimmy's was like, Rock held on to that. He was like, all right, I got you. I'm gonna turn heel. I'm gonna help this WrestleMania. I'm gonna put out my best work ever. But watch, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you next year.
Yeah.
You think it's all sweet and good? Oh, you think it's all good? You set up your next year's WrestleMania main event with me and Cody.
Habitual line stepper.
I'm not gonna be there. How about that? Oh, you got a big idea. You want Cody versus John Cena? I want Cody to turn heel. Oh, you and Cody don't want that? Don't want him to turn heel? You want John Cena to turn heel? Oh, okay. We're gonna do it at Elimination Chamber. Like he every time it was like a tennis match, a ping pong match of just two egotistical pricks, self-indulgent, egotistical pricks going back and forth. But they are the worst kind of self-indulgent, egotistical pricks because both of them want to be the good guy, which is disgusting. It's disgusting because I said it during our WrestleMania Night 1 review, and I will say it here. At the very least, with Vince McMahon, we all knew he was an egotistical prick, and he never tried to be the good guy. He always wanted to be the bad guy. He accepted that he was a bad guy. Once he did the Montreal school job, he accepted that he's the bad guy on screen, and he's the bad guy in life. Triple H and The Rock want so badly to be loved. They want to be beloved. They want to be good guys. And that's what makes them even more disgusting as an egotistical prick than the evil person that Vince McMahon is. At the very least, you could say he never lied to us and tried to be a hypocrite at the same time. They're hypocritical, self-indulgent, egotistical pricks. Yeah. Both Dwayne and Paul.
Yeah, but it was also the difference.
Volumes right now.
Yeah, and also the difference too when it came to Vince McMahon, right? Vince McMahon didn't go like on Media Week for WrestleMania. Yes. Like he didn't do interviews. He didn't put himself out there. This is the problem that they're having too, is that you're putting you guys are putting yourself out there way too much. Triple H has been doing it, and the reason why Triple H has been getting away with it for so long is because one, people liked of what he did in his career, and two, people saw that he was a step up from what Vince was doing. So there was a lot that he was getting away with, and I think now a big portion of the audience they're starting to see that, like, oh shit, like this man is making it about himself. How many times we've been saying it for a while? It's not like this is new to us. We've been saying it for a while. Now it's like, oh, so now you motherfuckers are starting to see it now, because like the whole thing with the I told Sid this. So the whole thing with the Hall of Fame, right? You almost forget who was inducted in the Hall of Fame. Outside of Triple H, you forget who was inducted, right? Why? Because they made it about Triple H. There was times where they were doing commercials of it, right? Not only Hall of Fame, but you would think that Triple H was going to wrestle at WrestleMania. And the reason why I'm saying this is because one of my friends, right? I have a coworker who's a very casual wrestling fan, right? He knows like the big names. He knows that stuff, right? He asks me, hey, is there something going on with Triple H this weekend? Like, is he wrestling? And I started laughing. I said, hell no. I was like, no, he's not wrestling. I was like, but WrestleMania is this weekend. And he's like, oh, because I've been seeing like these commercials with like, they've been showing like graphics of him. What the hell's going on? So then I told him, I was like, oh, he's being inducted to the Hall of Fame. He's like, that's it? Oh, I think he was like wrestling. This is a casual fan, remind you. He doesn't watch wrestling a lot. And, you know, he actually got to see WrestleMania and he hated it. He was like, this shit is ass. He was like, I'm never watching this shit again. That's how much he disliked WrestleMania. But it goes to show you, like, again, like, the problem is that Triple H needs to be, I want to say he wants to be, he needs to be in his lane, because it's like you're head of creative, right? You're head of creative, you're an executive now. How many executives do you know around the country that like they put themselves out there like the way he does? Not many. Not many do that, right? And I know like a lot of people will bring up like Tony Khan, like, oh, you know, why doesn't Tony Khan do storylines? Tony Khan's in the shadows for a reason, and he said it himself. Like he doesn't want to be on TV. He doesn't want to put himself in storylines like that, right? And you're starting to see the result of that. Like, you're starting to see why Tony Khan doesn't put himself on camera. With Triple H is he's constantly out there. So when people try to like say like, oh, I don't see how he makes it about himself. I don't get it. He's on a TV every week. I'm like, no, you're not getting it. It's the perception of it. Like, again, the Hall of Fame, somebody thought he was wrestling. No, he's not wrestling. When Netflix was coming out to promotion, who was in the commercial? Triple H. Why is Triple H in the commercial? He's not fucking wrestling.
Who's doing the voiceover for the intro to WrestleMania? Who's starting off WrestleMania every fucking year? Like, and the other thing that Rock and Triple H are doing, and I don't know if this is intentional or not, but they are exposing the business. That seems to be their goal of 2025. How did we start the Raw on Netflix premiere with Triple H? Oh, it started with a typewriter because these are all baby faces and heels. We all write these stories. You know it's not real. Then you got Rock telling Dave LaGreca, oh, it's all a work. It's all a work. It's and none of this is real. You need to stop caring so much. And then you got Triple H saying, fuck off to the critics. Just be a fan. It doesn't matter what we do. It's all good. It's all make believe. Basically, that's what he's telling us. He's telling you not to be emotionally invested. He's telling you not to care that much because it does not matter because they are going to do what they want. And I just feel like this whole thing of them like openly kind of admitting that it's not kayfabe. They're just breaking kayfabe and it's not real. It's very baffling. It's very baffling because the whole reason that they became hot is because they embraced the fans. They made them believe again. And then he's trying to take that away now because he's not doing as well as he previously was.
Yo, Triple H is the type of guy to go up to a baby and tell them that Santa's not real, like at this point. Like, that's the kind of guy he is. You know? Again, we're a lot of us are, you know, like when it comes to the wrestling now, right? Like what we deal with now, obviously a lot of us who are adults, we know that it's right storylines, they're written, right? Obviously we know all that stuff, right? But then it's like, how are you trying to get a new audience when you're putting it out there? Like, oh, this is how it's done, or this is, you know, like you're trying to get a new fan base, especially younger demographic of fans. It doesn't make any sense to that extent. On top of that, they have the show that's coming out on Netflix, like exposing the business even more.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it's like, I get what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to embrace, like, hey, people know that it's fake anyway, so let's just go with it. It's just like, no, bro. Like, this is not it. This is not.
That goes against the entire moral ground of professional. It's supposed to be an escape. It's supposed to be an escape from real life, but they're making it known who they're supporting politically. They're making they're putting all these different C-list and D-list and F-list celebrities in the front row. We got your Andrew Schultz, we got your Tony Hinchcliffe. Hey, look at the president, he's putting on a hula fala. Like, how do you
cringy? They made it all about like this whole like roast BS and this other stuff.
You know, and what makes it worse too is like with WWE, they're trying to navigate it as in like, no, we don't pick no sides, but it's like, guys, you're making it so fucking obvious. Like, to me, that comes out more scummy.
Yeah,
because it's like you're being fake about it. That's what comes off, right? It's kind of like if there's somebody that you really hate. And we all know that you hate this person, and you're like, no, I really don't hate them. But then they're in your thoughts 24/7, and it's just like, bro, like just say you hate this person. That's how I feel about how WWE does that. Like they're making it known that you support this side, and you're trying to make it seem like that we're dumb, like we don't see it. It's just like, bro, just fucking tell me. At this point, just say it. Just say it. You already put it out there. Just say it. Just tell me.
They just think we're stupid. That's what it is. And we don't know. And you keep putting your product out there, people are gonna see it and they're gonna question it. Yeah.
Vala with a super chat donation. Thank you once again, Vala, for the support. He says, we all love ops typos. My theory is that WWE Unreal is a show to babyface Hunter's creative process and demonize Dwayne throwing wrenches. Yeah. That's basically what it is. WWE announced on WrestleMania weekend that they're going to have a new WWE Unreal show on Netflix that's going to pull the curtain back on the creative room of WWE. They're going to open up the writings room for TV
They should
cameras.
not do it.
It's like
fucking Cody got his ass. Cody got his ass whooped, and you see the line in the bottom that says, "Oh, he's fine, guys. He's just selling." I'm like, oh no, like what are we doing? Like what are we doing? Like oh man,
they should not do this. I'm telling you, this is making it even worse. Like you're gonna pull it back, and you're gonna just see like this is gonna prove all of our points that you guys don't give a fuck. You don't care. You don't know how to write proper stories. Like it's terrible. They should not do this. I'm one for a whole documentary and behind the scenes shit. You know I am. This one ain't it though.
This ain't it. This ain't it at all. It's not it at all. We got another super chat donation from Chillin' with Chase, who says Rock versus Triple H, the greatest feud of all time. I did say on In the Weeds, there's two things I want to mention from In the Weeds with Jeremy, because we had a whole hour and a half discussion about this, and it's like this is the most interesting story right now in WWE. There's no storyline bigger than this whole power struggle between Rock and Triple H. It's so interesting. It's a talking point that you can go back to and you can talk about and you can look at things differently. Like talking about the whole promo that he did after the kickoff show where he was like flaunting the fact that he got his way and that Cody was in the main event and Rock was not getting his matchup with Roman. Now it recontextualizes the ending of WrestleMania 40. The ending of WrestleMania 40, I think I was one of the few people who criticized it because I was like, this should be about Cody finishing his story. Why the fuck is Cody calling out Bruce Pritchard and Triple H to come out here and share in the spotlight? But like Jeremy said it, he was like, it wasn't a big finish the story for just Cody. It was WWE Creative got to finish their story, got to finish the story that they put so much time into. They won the creative battle, the power struggle behind the scenes against The Rock, and this was their celebration. It wasn't just Cody's celebration. It was Triple H's creative process celebration.
I actually 100% believe that.
Yeah. Because he called all of them out, and yeah.
Yeah, because I thought it was a little weird. Like that was kind of like, you know, when all that stuff happened, it was a little over the top for me. And you see Cody Rhodes saying thank you to Nick Khan and all that stuff, and it was just like, oh god, like I see where the direction is going when it comes to WWE. Like they're gonna lean into the reality stuff, like the real stuff, when it comes to everything. And then now, I just think what happened, right, with WrestleMania week and all the press, I think what happened was that the problem too is that nobody wasn't really promoting WrestleMania. Everyone was like about themselves or like their personal shit, right? I think that was the biggest problem too. But I think part of it too is that I think some people tried to throw wrenches at AEW and it didn't work this time. Last year, they did it. And AEW, their response was terrible because it was on TV. They put it in their television product, and it made them look worse. Like it made the AEW look worse. And I think that's why I think that's what they were trying to do too. I think Nick Khan tried to do it when he made that comment about Shad Khan, and it didn't work. None of it worked. Seth Rollins did it. That didn't work. AEW just shut and had arguably one of the best Dynamites in their history that week. And then you know they had another nice follow-up. I think that's what part of the problem was. I think they were trying to do different things to try to throw wrenches that didn't work. And a lot of people just make themselves look worse. Triple H made himself look so bad in that Peter Rosenberg interview. Like there's
he was crying that not everybody's kissing his ass. Not everybody's jerking
he's like,
him
be
off.
a fan. And to me, that was the biggest problem I was having, where he's like, And what made it funny too is that a lot of these drones, they were trying to like make it seem like it was like a W. I'm like, you fucking idiots. He's talking about you too. Like he's telling you to be a fan. And you're here fucking defending it like you're fucking like you're getting a paycheck from him. It's just weird. It was all of it was weird. But then it's like you're upset because because people are criticizing you, but yeah, you guys weren't hiding it last year when you guys were bragging about how well you were doing. You had 17 straight sellouts leading to WrestleMania. Not once I saw that this year. By the way,
no,
why? Because none of the shows were sellouts.
They stopped doing that since like November. They stopped doing we've had this many sellouts in a row. We've had this many sellouts this year. They stopped that in like November, and it was very telling. It was very telling because they are overpricing shit now.
Yeah,
they
weren't
sellouts.
They weren't sellouts. They're doing good crowds. That's always the thing I've always said. Like they're drawing good crowds, but then they're fucking full of shit about it. Like WrestleMania, they're talking about how they had over 124,000 people. No, it was like 116,000. It's still a great number. It's just that you're not being upfront about it. That's the shit that I always like.
Well, they always lie about.
No, they always do it. No, like they always do it.
I'm not surprised at all.
No, like, and that's what made it funny. I'm like, yeah, they're still doing that shit, right? Where they said night one was a sellout, and then night two had 2,000 more people. How is that a sellout then? How's that
weird how that works. Chilling with Chase with a super chat donation here. Thank you once again, Chase, for the support. He says, so annoying how WWE just wants to yell to fans, we're fake. Yeah, I don't understand
that. Like stop doing yep.
Don't tell us that it's fake and that we shouldn't care. Like that is like the worst. Like, yes, these people care and they get upset, they get happy, they find joy because wrestling is supposed to be an escape. You are stealing the escape from your own fan base, and that is not a good way to increase your fan base or to have them buy a ticket to your WrestleManias, buy your ticket to your Raws and your SmackDowns, sit down and watch 3 hours of SmackDown every week. If you're telling us to stop caring because it's all fake, that is not the right way.
And that's exactly what they're doing.
Kevin Feige didn't come out and say, stop caring about Marvel because we all hated the Internals. Robert Downey Jr. don't need to come out every time at the start of your Iron Man in your local theater and being like, hey guys, don't take it too seriously because it's all fake. It's all a work. No, they understand this is an escape. If you want to be like the real entertainment, you so badly want to get the acceptance of real entertainment, treat yourself like it and stop telling us that is fake.
Yeah, and the problem too that I have with that is that WWE has made it a thing, right? They do certain things, and it's like now you're saying that you're this and you're that, right?
Yep.
It's like
contradicting yourself.
Yeah, it's like you want to brag that you're the hottest product that's going on, but then when there's criticism, you can't handle it.
You can't take it. Yep.
And then you have Triple H says that the internet is not real, but then, you guys have no problem when you have a viral moment on social media. You show up social media numbers. That's never a problem, but yet the internet is fake. You know what I mean?
The internet is fake, but they're promoting that WrestleMania is the most socially viewed WrestleMania of all time. 1 billion views on social media. So, no, I thought that was fake. That's a fake number. So, what are you talking about? But we of course will.
That is so fucking funny.
We of course will keep we will keep talking about this power struggle. The more they put it out in the public, the more they put it out in reality, it's going to continue to be a talking point. So we'll keep track of it in the weeks to come. But for this week, we will leave it at that. But there is more to talk about the main event of WrestleMania, because Travis Scott has become physically involved in multiple WWE matches now and is reportedly trained at Booker T's school to wrestle. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that there were indeed plans for Scott to wrestle in WWE at some point. The proposed idea was for Scott to team with John Cena in a tag team matchup. Their opponents have not been decided yet, except that the report believes Bad Bunny is going to be one of their opponents. Bunny's partner would be someone on the level of Cena, whether that's his WrestleMania opponent, Cody Rhodes, or someone else remains to be seen. So WWE wants to do Cena and Travis Scott potentially against Bad Bunny and Cody Rhodes sometime this year.
Okay, see, I'm not mad at it, and I appreciate the fact that Travis is definitely going the Bad Bunny effect and going and trying to learn instead of just being like just thrown into this. You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to do levels of it. I appreciate that part. Do we need this? Probably not. Will it sell out? Yes.
Yeah. People will go out of your way to see it, and it's going to be another viral moment. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. That's fake. That's fake. I'm sorry. That's fake. Viral stuff is fake. It's the internet. The internet's not.
Peter Rosenberg said he was tired of hearing Fiend this whole weekend.
So did Logan Paul. Something that I could agree with Logan Paul. I heard Fiend way too much.
They made it the song. Y'all didn't say this when I was playing the freaking weekend for 3 freaking WrestleMania.
Oh no, I did. No, I did too.
Okay.
I did too. I hate the weekend. Okay. I hate the weekend and all the songs. Yeah. Fiend.
I don't know, man. I can't get into it. I think because Travis Scott, he looks like a fucking dork. Like, how am I supposed to take this serious? I've been saying it.
But what does Bad Bunny look like? He's a whole nerd.
I mean, he looks cool. He looks a lot cooler at least. And he was good in the ring. I have no faith in Travis Scott.
What? Come on, guys.
I don't know.
It's just me.
I'm not gonna.
That's just me. I stand on that. If I die on that hill, I'll die. But
the song is Ash Cheeks. What? That song is. I like.
The song is Ash Cheeks.
I liked the song before it was the song picked for all of this.
I think that's a problem. A lot of people like the song. It's just that now it's just an annoyance. I think that's what it is.
Ran it into the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, but I feel that way about all the WrestleMania songs. Whatever the WrestleMania songs, I wind up hating it by the time WrestleMania is over.
Yeah, I think that's just. I mean, that is
another weekend song. I was just like, come on. And they picked it for like 3 WrestleManias.
No, it's been like 6 in a row.
See? Okay. I'm giving it. And I was being generous, to be honest.
You took half off.
It's like, even like when he came out for Elimination Chamber, it was mad funny when Jayquan said it. Jayquan was like, what the fuck is what the fuck is Travis Scott gonna do? Like he's with the Rocket Cena. What the fuck is he gonna do?
See, you guys I don't know. I feel like
and then he came out
the same energy to like Logan Paul, all the other people that insert themselves into fucking wrestling.
Oh no, I do too. So certain people it works. Like Dennis Rodman, I love Dennis Rodman in my wrestling. Mike Tyson, I loved him in my wrestling. I don't need celebrities. I don't need celebrities all over WWE the way they are right now.
Yeah, for me it's not so much of for me it's not. It's never been like. Yeah, I've never been somebody who's been against it because I get it, right? Even with Bad Bunny, I was skeptical with Bad Bunny. I didn't hate the idea, but the only selling point I had with Bad Bunny was that Bad Bunny was a legit fan.
Oh my God,
he was a real super fan.
It's terrible. Sorry.
And then he said, Travis Scott, damn. Okay, cool.
I'm sorry. The Sacrifice Weekend song was terrible. I'm sorry.
And then
the guy that said that. Yeah, that song.
that was that wasn't a WrestleMania song for me. It's a good song. It's not a WrestleMania song for me at least. I don't have a problem with celebrity things. It's just that I think now with Travis Scott is like you're trying to make him a thing, and it's just like okay, he comes out with a little fake hardcore title that looks ugly as fuck.
Right, like why would y'all give him that title? Of all the titles you could have given him, you give him that one.
And that belt is $1,200 on the fucking website. How is that $1,200?
Bruh, I'm sure it is for foolishness, for broken pieces. Is dumb.
And it's like fake broken. It's not even like legit broken. It's fake broken.
I know.
And you put little tape on it. It says hardcore title champion. What the fuck? What has he done that's hardcore?
And then for Triple H to go into his whole concert to give him that belt is just even more of a troll, I feel like.
He's been carrying it ever since, like a fucking.
And he has been. And listen,
He's been carrying it ever since.
And listen, you have these entertainers, you have all these sports guys that are true, like legit, like fans. Like they love this stuff. They've been watching this for a long time. But then you have them, and you have the other people that come in and infiltrate themselves, and they come and they ruin it for people like.
But I think Travis Scott might be a wrestling fan. I just don't think he should be a wrestler.
Same.
No, right.
Not every wrestling fan should be a wrestler. Like,
you're right. You're absolutely right. I agree.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It's just, I don't know. Like he didn't. What has he even like cut a promo or anything? Like has he even spoken on the mic? Like he hasn't, right?
He smoked weed. He smacked Cody in the face,
he
interfered in the main event of WrestleMania. That's the
she wasn't even supposed to. That smack wasn't even supposed to happen, by the way.
But he was like, the adrenaline rush had him. Like y'all shouldn't show those behind the scenes of him like saying, "Yo, oh my god!" Like you should like. So
no,
I feel like certain things.
Krssi, you're mistaken. That happened on the internet. It's not a real thing. They didn't show it on TV. It's on the internet. It's not a real place. But WWE is not done yet.
That's a bad one. Damn, Frantic. That's not nice. That's not nice at all.
They made
that wasn't even his fault.
Huge acquisition this week as during Saturday's countdown to WrestleMania 41 Night 1 event. It was announced that WWE has acquired Lucha Libre
Run
AAA.
as fast as you can. Run, Forrest. Run. This is terrible. Sorry. Go ahead.
And they now own the company. They also announced that there will be an NXT Worlds Collide event coming up featuring AAA wrestlers at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles on June 7th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. AAA showed up to make the announcement, was joined by Marcela Pena and Dorian Rondon, as well as Rey Mysterio, Stephanie Vicaire, Rey Fenix, Penta, Andrade, Vikingo, Santos Escobar, and more. The Wrestling Observer newsletter has more details on the acquisition, including more about the other company that is also involved. The company is called Philippe and is a sports and entertainment holding company based in Mexico. It is believed that WWE is the majority owner in the deal, with Philippe being the minority owner. Philippe describes itself as a private capital firm. It has investments in Kings League Soccer, which runs in Mexico, Spain, Italy, France, Brazil, and Germany. There have also an investment in Tycoon Enterprises, a brand licensing company. AAA and WWE have had talks about working together off and on since the death of Antonio Pena in 2006, with the earliest talks happening in 2007. Those talks were about working together with WWE providing money and getting ownership, expanding AAA to the United States. Those talks always fell apart because WWE wanted to be completely in charge. The Rondon family, who owned it, didn't want to sell a majority interest of 51% to WWE. The latest talks, which include Philippe, have been happening for over a year. WWE executives were at the last AAA show at Juan Della Barra Gym, and many were aware of talks happening, but no one knew that the announcement. No, I won't. Then no one knew that the announcement would happen at WrestleMania. Obviously, with this deal, WWE now gets what they want. They will be in control and make all the major decisions. However, WWE will not take over until the third quarter, so AAA will continue as it always has until then. AAA currently has 13 wrestlers under contract. There's no word on how much money was spent, although a $50 million figure was reported in Mexico. This year's AAA Triple Mania Regime will happen on June 15th at Reno, Monterrey in Monterrey, Mexico. In the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer spoke about the possible plans for the event, as well as a wish list of talent AAA want for the event, for the show from WWE. According to Meltzer, AAA recently increased the prices for the show from past events, leading some fans to believe that WWE wrestlers will be there. AAA also wants WWE stars like Penta, Rey Fenix, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, and others to appear at the show.
Yep.
Whether or not that actually happens remains to be seen. At this time, it's not official that there will be any WWE talent on the show. Meltzer also spoke about the show's date of June 15th, 3 days before the AEW's Grand Slam Mexico with CMLL on June 18th. He said that the Monteria and Mexico City were very far away from each other, and he doesn't think WWE's event will hurt ticket sales for the Arena Mexico show for AEW. He does believe that WWE is trying to make sure that any mainstream coverage from that week goes to them and not AEW. However, he still said that CMLL is on a good run right now, and that will likely help sales for the AEW Dynamite episode. Krssi Love, what's your thoughts on WWE purchasing another company to continue their monopoly over the industry?
Whoever is on that roster, you should run and run fast, because you will be stuck somewhere in between the NXT realm, the catering realm, and in the realm of just fighting your own fellow men. I do not see them putting any type of rocket ships on the back of any of these people. I'm sorry. I don't see them having any faith in doing anything that will remotely expand these people's viewership. I don't see any of this happening. I feel like they're just going to take it and leave it in the corner. Sad to say. The luchador, they're not going to do anything with these people. I'm sorry. And I feel really, really bad, because this is a lot of talented people. You have faith?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far to say there's a lot of talented people. They have 13 wrestlers. They have 13 wrestlers under contract, and one of them is Andrade. Is Alberto Del Rio. So.
Oh.
Yeah. And he's their champion. He's their champion.
He's their AAA mega champion. And he just was in the news because he threw a chair in a crowd at a grandmother.
They're not doing nothing with none of these people, I promise you. I'm sorry. I stand behind what I said. When I seen this, I was like, first of all, AAA hasn't been, from what SP has said, it hasn't been good in a long time.
It hasn't been.
No.
It's watching AAA is like it's an acid trip. It's like you're only watching it because you know it's bad. It's good bad.
Yeah.
And wasn't Vikingo just at an AEW event like not too long ago?
No, it's been like 2 years since he's been in AEW. Really? Since he had that matchup with Kenny Omega. That was in 2023. He got hurt in October. He just made his return. He's going to be on the TNA Rebellion card coming up tomorrow. But I mean, this feels like a deal.
I don't know, but this is the same.
The only person
that TK.
The only person I see benefiting from all of this is Vikingo. Vikingo's the most talented person under contract with AAA, so he's going to get the exposure of being on like a WWE show or interacting with WWE wrestlers, which is going to make him a bigger star. But
yeah,
other than that, I'm just like,
you don't see nobody else.
This ain't the flex that a lot of WWE fans think it is. It's just not.
It's really not.
And me,
it's a little piece of a puzzle, like them trying to get world domination.
Been saying that. Yeah, me SP3 been saying that. I was like, this ain't something to brag about, guys. Like,
no,
this is like
that just shows that those people needed whatever money that they could take from anyone to bail their asses out, because they're in a shit ton of like debt.
No, they were, and it was a shit show. Like that's that's the only reason why they folded.
TKO is on world domination right now. They're trying to take over the sports entertainment part of this shit and not even turn into wrestling anymore.
Yeah, because even the stuff with AAA too, I think the plan with AAA is that So it's not going to be like a whole folding. So it's not like they're not shutting down AAA because WWE doesn't fully own it. So basically what it's going to be, from what I understand, is AAA is going to keep on running. WWE is going to be a cash cow for them. Like, they're the ones that are going to be pumping in the money for them, from what I understand. But the benefit for like the talent is that they could either go, well, some of them are going to work like AAA shows, like the big shows, and then vice versa, which is only like Vikingo. Like Vikingo will probably be like, you know, doing NXT stuff. He could maybe do like a match or two, like in the main roster, just to showcase whatever they have. But it's not something that, like, you know, it's not like the WCW, like, we purchased their library. That's not the kind of thing that they did. No, but I'm like, that's not the kind of acquisition that they did. It's not like that. They're basically going to be a cash cow for them. And as far as like name pages or anything, I think they're going to stay with AAA because there's history within like that history of being AAA. I don't see them going like NXT Mexico. I don't think there's any
I wouldn't be surprised.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. I'll be more surprised if they stay with the AAA name, just because of being in Mexico, the history, a part of it, and stuff like that. However, there hasn't been like that good of a reception down in Mexico about it. It's gotten so bad that some of CMML shows that were coming up, they're all sellouts now.
They always, but they've been hot. They've been selling out.
Yeah, they've been hot for a while. But this like
months, for over a year now.
Yeah, but this even benefits them even more now. I don't think it's the whole thing where people are like, "Oh my god, it's gonna hurt CMML." Like, no, people are gonna be more supportive of CMML because it's a full Mexican brand. It's not like there's no attachment to another outside company that's running it. And I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, this is not. And there was even like reports from Mexico, like really prominent reporters from Mexico who journalists, they're not happy about this at all. Like, they're not really following the acquisition at all. And you know, it is what it is. You're not gonna get people that are gonna be happy about it. Like, if something was to happen like this in Japan, those people in Japan are not gonna be happy about it either. So it's not as positive people may think it is. Like, oh, you know, they're doing this, they're gonna buy it. It's like, no, like, that's kind of the reason why Noah folded. Like, Noah, a lot of people don't know is WWE was trying to buy Noah years ago, and it just didn't work out. And that was part of the reason why it didn't work out, because of the perception of, oh shit, if we sell to you guys, you're just gonna change the history, you're gonna change our name. Because that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it NXT Japan. They were trying to use Noah's expense of changing that, and they didn't want that to happen. Now they're doing business with Noah, but even with that, like a minor kind of thing. But we don't know. A lot of people are just not happy about it.
We'll see what happens. It's another story that we'll probably have to keep track of to see what the latest developments is. We should know, Senior Nerd bringing it up in the chat, there have been rumors that WWE are looking at buying the Puerto Rican promotion WWC, which is owned by the Colon family, which wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised at all. But more follow-up or fallout from WrestleMania news, and one of the bigger notes from WrestleMania was, of course, what we said earlier, Bayley being pulled from the WrestleMania card during the countdown show for night one. WWE ran an angle with Bayley being attacked backstage as Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez denied being the attackers. Aaron and Pierce declared that this means that Bayley was ruled out of the matchup and thus gave Lyra Valkyria 24 hours to find a new partner. That new partner winded up being Becky Lynch, but in a report from PW Insider Elite, this angle and Bayley's removal was not due to a legitimate injury and has been a planned storyline for weeks. There was reportedly some sympathy in the locker room towards Bayley from fellow talent when they found out. Fightful Select confirmed that Bayley signed a new WWE contract in late 2023, clarifying her long-term commitment to the company. She has, however, revealed her current contract status in WWE during an appearance on Insight with Chris Van Vliet.
Asked about what's next in her career, Bayley would reveal that she has a year and a half left on her current WWE deal and has plenty that she wants to do, saying that I have so many other things I want to make it into. I have a year and a half left on this current contract, so we'll see what happens then. Asked on And Then What by Chris Van Vliet, Bayley went on to look at what she could do, what she could be doing in the future, explaining, man, I don't know. I think I've done everything I really want to do. Not everything. There's still a lot I want to get done, but done so much with WWE, and I've been here for already 12 years. And there's a huge wave of women coming in that I think are ready to take over, ready to be in those spots. Teaming with Lyra right now has been super eye-opening to what the whole division has to offer. I've got to work with Roxanne. I got to work with Cora. But even like last night, hanging out with Lyra, we went out to dinner and we hung out with Michin for her birthday. But being able to hang out with her outside of wrestling, hearing her mindset and why she does this, why she wants to make it better, what she wants to make better, how she wants to help even me. Things that we're doing going into WrestleMania, how she wants to be better for me, makes me so happy that there's people like that and women like that that wants to be better for the division. So when I think about, okay, I might be done in a couple of years, who knows? I know that it's going to be in good hands, so that makes me really happy. So with knowing that Bayley has a year and a half left on her deal, we're going to go 0 to 100. What percentage would you put on Bayley leaving WWE? I will start things off and I will put it at a minus 35%. I think it's more likely that Bayley will just resign because she seems like the type that will be optimistic and think that she'll get a bigger push or think that she's not being sent out into the sunset. But I said it once, I'll say it 100 times. It feels like 2024 was her last ride in the sunset and they're trying to put her out to pasture. This whole thing with her being removed from WrestleMania is one of the more disrespectful things I've seen to who should be a top talent, who's been the workhorse, who's been a glue girl for that woman's division. That was very disrespectful. And it feels to me that they are treating Bayley like this generation's Natty Neidhart, like this generation's Mickey James. Who should be a top talent, who should be considered one of the best women's wrestlers, yet won't get that respect. What do you think, Krssi? What percentage are you going to put
agree. On? I think she's loyal to a fault, and I'm with you, SP. I really feel like, you know, it's something where she definitely is like holding out hope. I'll give it maybe 45. I'll go maybe a little more by you. She's just loyal to a fault at this point.
That's fair. That's fair. Josh, what about you? What percentage you're going to put on Bayley leaving WWE at the end of her current contract?
As of right now, I'm going to say a good, I'll go with like 45%. Because I think that, you know, if she gets to negotiations, obviously, I think that would benefit her. You see where the current market is at, what they offer, and stuff like that. So I think she's going to test it out. Do I think she ends up eventually staying? I could see her staying because of what you said about being optimistic, her being loyal to a fault. Even though I think she's more loyal to them than they are to her. You know,
part. That's the sad part.
But also the idea of going to the AEW, I mean, it's an exciting kind of thing because not only she'll get paid, they'll probably treat her better. We've seen it with her friend. We've seen it with Mercedes. Look at Mercedes. Mercedes is more happy than she's ever been. Like, we see it. When have you heard Mercedes complain about creative? It's been over a year. It's been over a year that she's been there. They treating her with respect. And I think that if she goes to, like if she goes to AEW, I think they're going to treat her very well. And we've seen it. Where some people reach certain status, they get treated well, and I think if she was to jump ship, they're gonna treat her very well because we've seen it. Like you've seen it with Sheldon.
She probably has to, right? She did Sheldon. As Rob said, you have to like take the Naomi and Mercedes effect and like turn it into something else. Like prove to them, show them like, you know what? I'm better over here. I can do this. I think it's more of like a comfortability. I think it's more of a clutch for her, I feel like. But I think if she was to step out and have her bestie, who is her bestie, like, boo, come over here. TK gonna take care of you. I promise you. I promise.
Get the big check and they'll take care of you.
And they will take care of you. And can you imagine her and Tony Storm, all of them over there? Bruh.
Would be a good time. But yeah, I'm going to put it at a modest 35%. 35%. Yeah. I'm keeping that
45.
In a new backstage behind the scenes vlog for WrestleMania 41, WWE superstar Bianca Belair reveals she suffered a broken finger during her title bout against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the women's world title. The match saw Io, of course, win and break Bianca's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. Bianca stated in the vlog, "I think I broke my finger. My finger is hurt. My feelings hurt. Now I'm so happy right now. That was amazing. Win or lose this WrestleMania. The mania streak is broken. I would prefer it to be Io out of anybody, one of the greatest wrestlers on the planet. I can't be mad at that. Congratulations to Io, Rhea. I'm still coming for that ass. Okay, this ain't over because it's your fault." And we also had Bianca confirm it live on SmackDown last night from Fort Worth, Texas, where she was wearing the brace on her finger. So we'll possibly be without Bianca for a couple of weeks, but hopefully not that long. Mm-hmm. And then to wrap up all the fallout for WrestleMania, got to talk about the success of WrestleMania, because that's what WWE cares about. Fuck you fans. The Wrestling Observer newsletter has some details on the international viewership for WrestleMania. Neither night of Mania was in the top 10 on Netflix for the week. This would mean that it was less than 2.7 million views, possibly less than 3.7 million views total viewers outside of the United States. However, the Royal Rumble previously cracked the top 10 with 2.1 million views, so it varies. WrestleMania Saturday was number 4 for the week in the UK and Saudi Arabia. It was number 6 for Saturday, number 9 for Sunday in Mexico, number 10 for Saturday in New Zealand, number 8 for Saturday in India, number 3 for Saturday, number 6 for Sunday in Canada, and number 9 for Saturday in Australia. In most countries, the Sunday show will likely be in next week's full week listings. Saturday could play into that as well, but it's less likely. For viewing on April 21st, which was Monday, the Sunday show was number 1 for the day in Australia, India, New Zealand, Saudi Arabia, and the UK. It was number 4 in Canada and number 6 in Mexico. For viewing on April 22nd, it was number 10 in Australia, number 2 in Saudi Arabia, number 7 in New Zealand, number 5 in India, number 7 in the UK. WrestleMania Saturday was number 1 on April 19th in Canada and Mexico, and it was number 1 on April 20th in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Saudi Arabia, and India. So some outside viewership. It was announced that WWE WrestleMania 41 was the highest grossing WrestleMania of all time. So they made a lot of money.
Of course they did, because they charge people they whole souls. What you mean?
You got to sell your soul to go to WrestleMania. While we all have some critically panned with WrestleMania for various reasons, whether it be the expensive money or some lackluster matches, no, what the hell? No denying that WWE Raw After WrestleMania was a good show and actually better than both nights of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The show featured John Cena making an appearance, kicking off the broadcast to brag about his WrestleMania main event win and his 17th world title. He also presented a countdown clock for 27 days left until his retirement at the end of the year. However, Randy Orton showed up and delivered a massive RKO to leave the new champion laying and set his sights on the WWE Championship. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez beat Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch in a good opening matchup to regain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Post-match, Becky turned heel on Lyra after losing the gold. The New Day bragged about their World Tag Team title victory at WrestleMania until the Alpha Academy interrupted, only for Rusev Day to return to WWE as Rusev made his return and attacked Otis and Akira Tozawa. You also had Io Sky. Io Sky's WWE Women's World Championship victory celebration was interrupted by the debuting NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Vaquer, who challenged her to a matchup. After a really good matchup between the two, interference from Roxanne Perez led to a DQ finish. Post-match, Julia also made her debut, attacking the babyfaces with Perez until Rhea Ripley made the save. Rhea, after a stare down with Julia, Rhea let Io know that she was coming for the title. Jey Uso came out for a world heavyweight title celebration until Sami Zayn came out to join him and congratulate his friend. Following a brief tease of a Sami Zayn heel turn, which got the crowd very excited, Jimmy Uso joined them to continue the celebration. Meanwhile, Gunther did not have a good time on Monday as he was pissed off about his loss and blamed the commentary team, attempting to choke out Michael Cole until Pat McAfee made the save, only for McAfee to fall victim to the ring general's sleeper hold, while his friends had to be held back by security. Dominic Mysterio beat Penta to retain the Intercontinental Championship thanks to interference from the returning JD McDonough, and the show closed with Seth freaking Rollins and Paul Heyman coming out to brag about their WrestleMania 41 main event win when CM Punk interrupted to brawl with Seth. This led to Paul Heyman distracting Punk, so Seth got the drop on him, receiving a curb stomp for his troubles, did Punk. But Roman Reigns made an appearance. He came out to spear Seth and then give a Superman punch to Paul Heyman, but he was taken out by the newest Paul Heyman guy, Bron Breakker. Braun speared Roman not just once, but twice, through the second time through the barricade before Seth stomped both Punk and Reigns to close the show. As this new heel force, we might as well call them a dangerous alliance, was born with Paul Heyman at the helm of both Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. I absolutely loved the ending of Monday Night Raw. I waxed lyrically about it on Rated Raw Review. Krssi Love, what did you think about the Raw After Mania?
Better than night 1 and 2. And this was a 3-hour show. Well, not even, just 2.5 hours, right?
No. It was 3 hours this week.
Whatever.
It was 3 hours because they had to pack in a lot. Not a lot of wrestling, but the angles and the promos were really good.
It was okay, so it was 3 hours. Because matter of fact, yes, it did go long. I was like, wait, this is the main event. And we still got more stuff. I was like, okay, cute. I am not mad. You know how I feel about Bron Breakker. You guys all know it. This is not nothing new. I am not. This will make me maybe like him now. Okay.
You are crossing over to the dark side. I like it.
I'm liking this like Evolution 3.0 2025 alliance per se. I want to know if there's going to be a fourth member. Yeah, I like this. I'm not mad at it. I love this turn. We did not see this coming, and I like this. This is what we like about wrestling. Things like this. When you start giving us all the other BS, that's when we check out. But yes, I am not mad at the Raw After Mania. This whole new alliance is really, really good.
Josh, any thoughts on the Raw After Mania?
Actually might have been my favorite of the year.
Yeah,
really good. Really well-paced show. A lot of different stuff that happened. The only maybe nitpick I have, or some of you guys might agree, was the whole Becky stuff.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yes.
What was that about? Like,
the
why
rematch, the rematch, and then for that to happen that soon, the turn happened that soon.
Not 24 hours, not even.
It left a bad taste in my mouth just because I'm like, all right, so Becky came back an expensive Bailey, and then this happens on expensive
Correct.
Bailey.
Yep.
I just didn't like it. I really wasn't feeling it when it came to that. But besides that, I thought everything else was great. Like you said, like the indie segment was great. But I also like the fact that not only that it was Bron Breakker, but I like the fact that you kind of take him out of that mid card ish.
Yeah. Yes.
Because
he doesn't need to be a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, like him being a angle like this might be more important, and I think that's a good thing. If it's more important, you keep him away from the IC title. The stuff with Io and Stephanie, I thought it was great. I wasn't feeling the non-finish. That's just me personally. I thought it could have had a finish. Stephanie does hurt from a loss to Io because she's on the main roster, but that's just me. I know a lot of people were in favor of like the non-finish because nobody lost, but
yeah.
I thought that was some pretty cool stuff, like the way they did it. But then also, at least for me, right, when I saw Julia, I was just like, yeah, I kind of see why they like Stephanie more than Julia.
God damn. Taking shots at Julia.
And it's not even like really a shot at her. It's just I could see why. Like Stephanie, I think it's more roster ready than Julia is. I could see it.
Yeah, she has the charisma down pat. But we got another run-in for our call-in episode here. Someone else who sent us a super chat donation, but a familiar face for everyone who watches us for our watch-alongs and watch Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment as well. It is from the Around the Point Network. Chase is here. How you doing, Chase?
Doing good, SP3. Just getting my workout in as I'm listening to you guys. I was trying to do this in the sauna, but then I was like, damn, it's too sweaty to do it in the sauna. So doing the cool down of the workout on the workout bike in my little home garage that I have. That's really messy. I got to clean it up, but I'm too lazy to do that shit.
Well, give us your thoughts. You were there live at WrestleMania. Did you go to the Raw After Mania as well?
No. So me and my friend, we didn't have enough vacation days to really get to like the Tuesday to get Tuesday off. So plus we wanted to leave Vegas as soon as possible. Look, guys, as someone who has pretty much timeshare in Vegas, I'm going to tell you guys right now, Vegas is a 2.5 day city. The day you get there, you're going for half the day, then 2 days, and
in and out. You don't need to be there that very long.
That's it. I was so tapped out of Vegas by that. Like after Friday, I wanted to leave. If WrestleMania wasn't on Saturday and Sunday, I would have left. I honestly would have left. I would have just sold my WrestleMania ticket Wednesday. I was there for too long.
Bruh.
Yeah.
You went down there Wednesday? Oh, you went off for the other stuff. That's why. Yes, you went for the other stuff. Okay. Makes sense.
because I had to experience WWE World. I need to know what this I'll say this: WWE World stinks. I'm not gonna lie. WWE World stinks.
And it stinks only if you have to buy an extra pass to get to do all the other fancy shit.
Dude, you're just waiting in line. That's all WWE World is. It should just be WWE wait in line. That's all you're doing is waiting in line. Look, I know I'm gonna get shit for saying this, but this was the only thing that didn't have a line. We tried the Real American beer, and that was the worst beer that I ever had in my life. It was just like it was worse than Bud Light.
Chase.
It was worse than Bud Light. Like, no, Krssi, me and my friends, we were all hyped. We had the Real American beer. It turned our mood sour. We were so pissed afterwards that we drank that. It was.
Look who's the
I didn't
owner.
even finish. It was terrible. It literally just tasted like water with like I don't even know what flavoring they put in there. It was just water with some like rubbing alcohol in there. I want to say it tasted horrible.
And I don't
Worst
even
beer
drink
ever.
beer, and that sounds terrible. Ugh.
Yeah, it was just Bud Light.
He drank Real American beer, and he just got mad at every black person he saw after that. God damn.
No,
God damn.
honestly, it changed my beliefs. I was all like, you know what? I want to vote Democrat now. I'm full-time Democrat now after that. After drinking Real American beer, it made me not want to go onto that right side no more. And then WrestleCon, the Westgate was the worst place to host WrestleCon. These idiots put the Hardys upstairs. And the Hardys, you know, they always going to have the longest line. They had a line from upstairs all the way to downstairs. And so if you want to go upstairs to see like all the other wrestlers up there, you have to take an elevator that was being blocked. That was being blocked by the Hardys line. So there was no way to get upstairs to meet the other wrestlers. So I feel bad for those people that got paired with the Hardys because it was that. And come on, man, it's like a bunch of wrestling fans. So, you know, there's a bunch of 400-pound motherfuckers. Ain't no way you're going to get past them even if you go up the stairs. So, yeah, it was rough. Shout out to Ronda Rousey. She got her own little bar area. But she wasn't friendly. And all wrestling weekend. She wasn't friendly. She didn't care anything I said to her. She was just like,
she don't give a shit about none of y'all.
When I asked for the autograph,
y'all don't listen to me. I've been telling y'all that from day one. Y'all think that she's this high and mighty person, blah 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 blah. She's a shitty person like all the rest of them.
She was nice to me. She's nice to me. She knows I'm a fan.
But you know, Krssi, I'm a huge UFC fan too. So I love Ronda from UFC, not only her WWE work. I was my favorite MMA fighter, not my favorite WWE wrestler.
Okay. Fine.
But yeah, WrestleMania, the crowd, night one, ass. Probably like the worst crowd I've ever been a part of in terms of wrestling. Like, none of you. I'm being dead honest when I say this. Okay, first of all, WWE saying it's a sellout, cap, because there was a bunch of seats in the upper row not taken and stuff. So I don't know if y'all saw my comment earlier, but so Section 440 got tarped off. And so I tried to pretend that I was part of Section 440 to see where they were going to relocate me. They were going to put you on top of the stage. So those people that were sitting on top of the stage, those were the people that were from Section 440 that got relocated to the top of the stage. I tried to pretend like saying, "Oh yeah, my ticket got." They said my section blocked off. I was doing a good acting job. I would say I got an Academy Award from it. And then they showed me where the seats were. And I'm like, "No, I'm good actually." I said, "I'll just walk around the stadium." They're like, "Are you sure?" Da, da, da. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure. I'll just walk around. Maybe I'll go to box office to buy more expensive seats." They're like, "Oh yeah, no problem." And then I was just like, "Yeah." I told my friends, "Yeah, we ain't going to those seats, man. That's because I want to see the set. That's the whole thing. Like the set is like 15. Like I don't want to sit there and then just be scared. And I'm scared of pyro too. So like I'd be like EY the whole time, like in TNA, like like freaking out during the pyro and stuff. Yeah, so that's where they got relocated. But yeah, no, they weren't selling out. In fact, 3 people got kicked out because in my section, a drunk guy fucking face planted during the tag team match. And he got escorted out the building with him and his buddies. So there was 3 people not there. So you can't call it a sellout for sure, man. Like there was a bunch of empty seats.
No, it still counts because they bought their ticket. It still counts.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They got their money. But yeah, night one, the crowd was ass. And even during the main event, where you think everyone would be in their seats. And you went to both nights, Chase? Yeah, unfortunately. I'm here to tell people, man. Two night WWE events. I'm not a fan of them. I think that like after WrestleMania 39, Mania 39, I was all like, I can't do 2 nights anymore. This is way too much because it's not like say let's you do NXT. Like it's not like you do a smaller. It's not like a smaller show like a GCW or like an independent show, then you go to like a AEW, then you go to a WWE style show. It's like you're going to WrestleMania 2 nights in a row. It's all the pomp and circumstances, all the waiting that you have to do and everything. It's all that. It's too much, man. So but yeah, even during the main event, these people weren't in their seats. They were in line for merch, in line for the Travis Scott merch. Like they just weren't in their seats. So night one was ass. Night 2, I would say the crowd was much better night 2, but until like Cena's match, that was the only time I've ever seen everyone in their seats. Like that was the only time during Cena and Cody. Other than that, like people were just walking around. Like the cool thing about Legion is like no, because they changed their. So I don't know if you knew this, Krssi, but Allegiant actually canceled their contract with their food vendor a month before the event. So this is a whole new food vendor and I got a pepperoni pizza, and by the time I got there, it was a cheese pizza because all the pepperonis fell off my pizza.
Wait. What?
So
Hold on.
that's how bad it was. Like as I was walking to my seat, I don't know what happened. The pepperonis all fell off my pizza.
So you only had bread, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I wanted, dude. Yeah, and like at least the drinks were good. They had a drink called the Heel Turn. That was good. Made me want to turn heel on everything. But other than that, it was. Yeah, I'll never do a wrestling event at Allegiant again. That was like 3 events I've done at Allegiant. I just think that venue's not built for wrestling. Like I've been to football games, soccer games, never again for wrestling. Like
that's what they said about SoFi too. SoFi, they said it was like it's not meant for WrestleMania. It's too SoFi is just too. It's too big. It's just too much happening. There's like a lot of shit going on.
I'm biased towards SoFi, so I love SoFi. So they can bring WrestleMania, they can bring SummerSlam to SoFi. I'll still go to that. I love SoFi; it's my favorite venue. But Allegiant, it's not it. But also to getting out. That's the worst part about Allegiant. It was horrible trying to get out of that event. Like I don't know if y'all saw the horror clips and stuff. Like honestly, like the fastest I got out was
over the bridge.
Yeah, over the bridge and all that other stuff. But no, the fastest I got out was when I was trying to do the interviews because I had a reason. I just kept going up to random people, so I was able to cut through everyone and stuff. So they're just like, "Oh, okay, cool." This guy's just trying to ask questions and stuff. But yeah, man, for all you guys that want to do these 2-night events, I'm just telling you, go to the night where you like the card. That's it. You ain't missing much, to be honest, man. Like I honestly could have just been fine going to night 2. It's all right. My tribal chief would have forgiven me for not showing up night 1. It's okay. He didn't win anyway, so then it wouldn't have hurt me that bad. So
exactly.
But yeah, no, night 2, if I would have, even though the main event sucked, night 2 at least like that had better atmosphere than night 1. Night 1 just felt like I don't know, dude. Like people were just because like the thing about Allegiant, so they have this like area where the Raider torch is. People were just standing there and you can see the event just fine. So it was better than whatever fucking seat you paid for. You just stood there and you saw all the matches just fine. So
there we go. We got the live correspondent here, Chase. Thank you so much for coming on today. Give us your thoughts, being there live at Allegiant Stadium. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again on their YouTube screens.
Yeah, you guys can follow me at Chase Oliver 68 around the Point Network. And I don't know, WWE's fake now. So like WWE told me I might be retired. I might be done. You know, like it's not real. It's not real anymore. You know, like they ruined the delusion for me, man. But yeah, maybe around the Point. Who knows? Like I'm honestly, I've never been more disenfranchised in my life. Maybe I'll just watch when Cena wrestles. That's it, or when Roman wrestles. Permanent retired. Well, of course I'll watch AEW, but I'm talking about WWE wise. I don't know.
Well, like, to be fair, you used to do it. You do it on YouTube. That's not a real place. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything we do is everything we do is we're fake. We should just all just shut up and watch. Like who cares about opinions and having good thoughts and good values and provide anything? Yeah. Fucking. I love it. I love it. Team Dwayne, baby. Let's go rock.
Thank you so much, Chase, for joining us today, and always appreciate your support, good brother. Take care. Enjoy the workout.
Thank you. Oh, I'm almost done.
Later, bro. That was Chase joining us today. Anyone else, feel free if you send a super chat, you're first come, first serve. But anyone else who want to join us, give us your thoughts on the week that was. But Monday Night Raw, I think we're all in agreement. It was much better than WrestleMania 2 nights. But one part I do agree with Josh. The Becky Lynch heel turn, very weirdly done and very haphazardly and very quick kind of hot shot booking. So let's talk a little bit about that. Apparently, the architect behind Lynch's return plans has now been revealed, with the star replacing Bayley as Lyra Valkyria's tag team partner ahead of WrestleMania 41. According to Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Live, the idea for the return came from Becky Lynch herself. He explained, this whole thing was Becky's idea. It was all Becky's idea. I heard about it in advance.
Great.
Becky wants to come back. She wants to win the title and then turn on Lyra the next night. When I heard it, I was like, what? This is absolutely horrible idea. But as it turns out, her coming back and winning the title, if you went on Twitter after that show, they all cheered Becky and everything. But very shortly thereafter, there were all the Becky Hogan posts. I didn't know that her plan involved losing the title. I thought she was going to turn on Lyra as champions and they vacate the title or whatever. But losing the title and turning on her, this all worked out perfect for a heel turn. It didn't for the Raw after WrestleMania, but she'll be a heel next week. This is a case of sometimes you shouldn't listen to the talent. Sometimes whatever the talent wants, it's not the best idea, and you should do your job, Triple H, and book creatively. This was not creative. This was hot shot booking, and I didn't like it.
Nope, stupid. You made these girls lose the night before just to win it back the next day. My husband was like, wait, didn't they lose last night? I was like, yeah. He was like, and he doesn't even really, he was like, that's stupid. Like, he was like, he doesn't even watch it often. He'll like watch it like randomly because of me, or if I have it on and he's and I'm in the room and he'll just like watch it or like, you know, listen to it. He was like, wait, we just seen them lose last night though. I was like, I know. He was like, this is dumb. Like, and I was like, this is from people that watch it occasionally. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how are you supposed to bring new fans in if you do stupid shit like this?
Yeah, I don't think this was a good idea. But hey, they're trying to, and I don't.
Bailey.
And I don't 100% believe this report for Becky, because this would be very unlike Becky and her reputation. But yeah, like Nate Milton, shout outs to Nate who joined us for the WrestleMania Night 2 review. He says Becky Ruffian said, ain't nobody coming to see you, Bailey. The disrespect is real, family.
Oh yeah, as the temptation, that's a key line. If you,
I mean, I get it. I mean, when it comes to all that stuff, and I get people are saying Becky Hogan. If Becky really wanted to be like Hogan, she would have implemented herself into the opening match and then winning the title.
Yes,
winning the world championship. That's why I would have been like, yeah, that's more like Hogan. It's just the concerns that I had with Becky coming back of like, yeah, they're probably gonna have the perception of her being like this, and it came to fruition. I'm not really happy about it because I'm like, Becky is nothing like Charlotte. It's just, you know, it's unfortunate. That timing, it was a terrible angle. I was just like, you could have just let it simmer, let it have a little nice run, let it
like at least 2-3 weeks.
They've barely established the relationship with her and Lyra.
And then also, it's just like she's always persistent to being heel. It's like, Becky, every time you turn heel, doesn't work because people like you too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people like you too fucking much. They turn you back to babyface.
Yeah.
So, like, this is not doing you favors.
Now I was like, are you doing this because of your husband is a heel now?
If she joins the Dangerous Alliance, I think that it will at least be different from her original heel run, and that will probably be the best way that she can get heat, because everybody hates when she and Seth Rollins are on screen together. So that's the only way. That's her best way to get heat.
I think that's the only way you can really justify it, and maybe now it'll be a little bit different because now they're in the actual group and not just a duo.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I didn't like
maybe
it.
adding a female to the mix would not be a bad thing, in her being that possible person. But I don't know.
It adds a bunch of star power to the group.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And then also, like, within WWE logic, it didn't make any sense because remember, they said like, oh, there's no rematch clauses, but yeah, the tag team, they get a rematch. Like, they get a rematch all of a sudden, right? It's like so fucking bullshit. It's just like, what are we doing?
Tell you, they think that we're stupid. Like, we don't be remember when they say shit like this.
It's like, bro, you just said this, and then they're like, no, I never said this.
I never said that. What are you talking about? Someone else, about another big moment on this week's Raw was Rusev made his return on Monday Night Raw, and a new report had details on his deal while confirming Lana's WWE Legends deal. Deadline reports that Rusev's deal is for 2 years. It was also confirmed that the report from PW Insider over the weekend that Lana, aka CJ Perry, signed a Legends contract earlier this month. Both deals were negotiated by Paradigm talent agency. Lana told the site, Rusev is back to crush WWE and become world champion. We have been cooking this up from our Bulgarian kitchen since the day we left, and with the help of Paradigm, we were able to make this a reality. Mashka crush, she added.
Someone take her phone away, please. Now.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Take it away.
No, she said that quote. She said that quote to Deadline. She didn't say it in like a tweet or anything.
It doesn't matter. Take it away.
The fact that you returned and all you did was beat up the Alpha Academy. Yo, Triple H was devoid of creativity with the returns this week, because we'll talk about the other return that happened this week.
At least Rusev got out of his cuck chair finally, so that's a good thing for him.
Oh God.
There we go. Won't touch that one. Gunther has been indefinitely suspended due to his assault on Pat McAfee. Of course, we talked about it earlier. He choked out McAfee on Monday Night Raw. Adam Pearce posted to Twitter on Friday to note that Gunther has been fined and indefinitely suspended as a result of his actions. Pearce added that McAfee will appear on next week's Monday Night Raw. Way to sell it, Pat.
I mean, that's why I was about to say a bullshit. A bullshit.
Hey, I love the angle. The angle was a great way to get.
No, the angle was great.
I mean, why did all them dudes go into that to the room with him? Like that was like super unnecessary. That looked so awkward and just like super unnecessary. Like the man was walking on his 2 feet, and then you had like 20 motherfuckers go inside with him.
Follow. Yeah.
He needs some help. He needs help. Penta and Rey Fénix are currently on singles runs in WWE. As each luchador is on separate bands. You have Penta on Raw and Fénix on SmackDown. Fightful Select reports that this won't always be the case, and there are plans to reunite the Lucha Bros as a tag team in a WWE ring. The idea is for both wrestlers to generate buzz on their own so that later on they can create a big moment by reuniting. I said it after WrestleMania, and especially after Monday Night Raw. It feels like already they're making Penta and Fénix just another guys on the roster that I don't believe they're going to get pushes as single stars. I think they will only get a big push when they reunite.
I mean, people fell for it. I mean, people thought something was going to happen with Penta and Fénix. We kind of alluded to what was going to happen. They fooled you. Like a lot of people got fooled. Oh my God, great entrance. Oh my God. Tony fumbled, and look, they're just 2 other guys now. You had Fénix lose at Mania.
With all the other Spanish guys.
You had Fénix lose at Mania, which I mean, I knew this guy was going to win anyway, but I was like, all right, like he lost in 8 minutes, and then Penta lost the next night, but he didn't get pinned. But then he lost the Dynamite anyway on Monday. So it was like, all right, this is what we're doing with them.
But even in the movers. Even in the four-way at WrestleMania, he was like the 5th most important guy in a 4-way.
He was.
Because Carlito was in a more important spot than he was.
Yeah, because he got fucked spirited the damn table. There were some great shots of him too at his face. Like when he knew that he fucked up. Like he fucked around and found out.
Back in September, Ilya Dragunov suffered a torn ACL during a live event. At the time, he was expected to miss 6 to 9 months. However, Fightful Select reports that it may be closer to a year of the czar of WWE. It was noted that Dragunov has been rehabbing his injury, but is still not expected until September or October. According to the report, ACL injuries like Dragunov's take around a year to safely come back from. That's consistent with what can be found in a Google search, which says 6 to 9 months, but longer for competitive athletes. So hoping for the best for Ilya and that he is able to come back healthy and fine. But Let's talk about last night's Friday Night SmackDown after WrestleMania. The show featured John Cena kicking off the broadcast like on Raw, but this time he was immediately confronted by none other than his longtime rival, Randy Orton, before he can even say anything at all to the fans, suggesting that Cena should have some kids to get out of his recent funk. John responded that he doesn't have kids because he's too busy raising ours for the last 25 years. Orton said that Cena's quest to ruin wrestling is disrespectful to his family that have made a living off of the business for 3 generations and will continue to for years to come. But Cena says when he retires, 3 generations of Orton's family legacy will be erased. When Orton challenged Cena to face him for the WWE title right then and there, Cena accepted, but for backlash in Randy's hometown. Cena attacked his longtime rival, looking to get the jump on him, but Orton was able to get the last laugh with an RKO once again. Later in the show, it was announced it's official. Last time ever, John Cena versus Randy Orton at Backlash on May 10th. Former NXT Tag Team Champions Fraxium made their debut in a win over Los Garza in a fun opener. Tiffany Stratton came out to brag about her WrestleMania win over Charlotte Flair, only to be interrupted by Jade Cargill, leading to a matchup between the two. That match ended in DQ when Naomi attacked Jade with some of the worst punches I've ever seen in my life. Post-match, Nia Jax came in to attack Tiffany. Yes, from Naomi. It was awful. Nia came in to attack Tiffy in her return to the SmackDown roster. Later, then you had Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa came out to celebrate Fatu's U.S. title win, despite Solo trying to take credit for Jacob's win. Jacob basically cut his promo and got the fans behind him, but they were both interrupted by LA Knight and then Drew McIntyre. After a match was set up to determine the number 1 contender, it was interrupted by Damian Priest to cause a DQ after he laid out McIntyre with South of Heaven through a commentary table. Knight got in Priest's face post-match, but Fatu returned to lay out both men with a pair of double jump moonsaults. Aleister Black made his return with his Root of All Evil theme song. I love that theme song. Top 5 favorite theme song in WWE history. But he only interrupted The Miz and laid him out with Black Max. Womp, womp, womp. His wife, though, Selena Vega, picked up her first singles title win of her career, defeating Chelsea Green to become the second ever WWE Women's United States Champion in a great night for the couple. Finally, you had the Street Profits defeated DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns in an absolutely phenomenal TLC matchup to retain the WWE Tag Team Championships in the main event of the show that finally woke this Fort Worth, Texas crowd the fuck up after they fell asleep for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
SmackDown was a mixed bag, but it ended hot with the TLC. I will say that.
Same.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Krssi.
It felt. Sorry.
Well, no, Krssi had to say something. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So you gave Chelsea Green, who was super hot, this mediocre run, just to give it to Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
What Zelina can't win a matchup? At least she won some matches before she got the shot.
No. Yes, yes. Zelina Vega is one of those unsung heroes that has been out here losing and been a loser for a long time, and now she can finally be a winner. So yes, I'm here for her winning. Again, they just messed up the whole Chelsea Green run. That could have been really, really spectacular. And they just dropped the ball on it. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. Josh?
No, I do agree that SmackDown was it was not terrible, not great, but I thought they did certain things that were good, adding on to Orton and Cena, making that official.
Yeah.
I thought that was solid. But then John Cena, with the problem I'm having is with John Cena, I get he's heel, but it's I don't like the fact that they keep having this thing where he's always where the babyface is on top and he's gonna end up winning anyway. Because the last 4 times, I said it yesterday. I was like, the last 4 segments was John Cena, Crossroads, RKO. Like,
And he's gonna win. He's gonna come out as the winner because they can't do anything else.
He just looks goofy at this point. It's just like, bro, why are you getting your ass whooping? I mean, when it matters, yeah, but just like, bro, I need something more than that. It's just like, at this point, it's just like, bro, you can't keep getting your ass whooped, like in these and then
winning these matches supposedly.
Yo, but besides that, the TLC match was great. I know a lot of people are saying, hey, this should have been Armenia. I'm very mixed about it because it's like, yes, it should have been Armenia. At the same time, don't give me this match if it was going to be like 10 minutes. Don't give me this match at all. At least on SmackDown, they had enough time to let it breathe, to let the guys do what they do. So I thought it was a good spot for them. It's just it does look bad when it was like right after WrestleMania, and none of the guys' faults on that. None of the performers' faults for that. And then Fraxium debuted. I thought they should have been on Raw. But man, that's
Raw needed them so much more than the SmackDown tag team. SmackDown tag team division is good.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that the video.
Yeah,
the video package kind of just like was like mid for them. I was just like, this is like one of your best things going on in the company in general, and you kind of just gave them a welcome like that. I was like, ugh. I thought that could be better. That could have been better.
They said that it was actually previewed on the email preview said that Fraxium was going to be on there. So, and then Fraxium admitted that they were in Fort Worth, Texas for the show. So I think that's why they gave them that type of intro, but that's no excuse. That was an uncreative way to introduce a great tag team like them.
But yo, Frazier, like he moves super fast. I was like, damn, like I didn't know he moved that fast. I was like, that's ridiculously fast. Like, oh shit. So I think they could do some things on the main roster. It's just a matter of creative if they give a fuck about them. That's just where it comes down to. I don't think that the guys are going to perform their asses off every opportunity they get. It's just a matter of creative gives a shit about them. So I mean, it was cool seeing them regardless of how I felt about that. It was cool seeing them, but the crowd was fucking ass all night. I was like, what is this shit? Like, no,
they treated Aleister Black's return like he was just another nigga.
Yeah, like no pop to that, no pop to Fraxium. They were dead, and that crowd it was over 10,000 people, and that was like, what the fuck was that? Like.
I'll answer. Jeremy Orr says Black and Miz pissed me off, and Dion asks why. Probably is because it indicates that Aleister Black is still a mid-carder.
This is kind of what I did say.
Yeah. Like the reintroduction of Aleister Black and Rusev felt distinctly mid-card.
Mid-card. It screamed mid-card because they not only bit up, they folded mid-carders, but I don't know. Black, you know, like I know you were very high on it where it came to Black, like, hey, Triple H likes him. I had my doubts, and I'm like, damn, we had him come out against Miz. I thought he was gonna miss them because Miz had a white suit. So I thought that was going to happen. I thought he was going to miss them because of the white suit. But then he just did the black mask. And I was just like, all right, cool. Like, that's what we got.
Okay, that was pretty lame. I was happy to hear his theme song, but I was not impressed with the way they reintroduced Aleister Black.
Same. I was like, that was a letdown. That was just like, that was pretty, like, that was like a wet fart to me.
Yeah. We shall see what happens next with that, but we got Davion who asks who will have the better return, Rusev or Aleister Black. I think it will still be Aleister Black because I don't have much faith in Rusev, but that's just me.
I'm leaning a little bit with Rusev, as much as I don't like Rusev. I'm leaning a little bit more with Rusev, but with both returns, I knew they're going to be mid-card. These signings, you're not getting. Thing is like with a lot of these AEW signings, it's good for the individuals themselves, but it's not like you're not getting like a Cody Rhodes, you're not getting like a CM Punk type of talent that is like, oh, this person's going to carry the company and he's going to be the face of the cut. Like those are the signs you're not getting. You're getting good talent, but you're getting them for what they're probably going to be good for in WWE, and that's mid-card at best.
Let's quickly go through a couple of news notes before we finish off WWE with NXT. The IWC and social media have been buzzing this week with the leaked audio and comments from last Sunday's The Roast of WrestleMania featuring Tony Hinchcliffe and friends. Multiple comments and insults were made at the expense of WWE superstar Charlotte Flair, some of which came from fellow WWE superstar Nia Jax. The event was not non-televised, and attendees were restricted from having their smartphones inside the venue. Nonetheless, audio and clips of the show have still been leaked. During her set, Nia Jax is rumored to have said about Charlotte Flair, "It's Rhea Bloody Ripley. Let's be honest. That girl's social media with her fucking ass cheek and those thirst traps. I forgot that she wasn't even in the ring. Quite opposite from Charlotte Flair. I mean, nobody really wants to see her in the ring anymore. You know, her 3 ex-husbands also said that same thing." WWE has revealed the date and locate. But yeah, I mean, not the best. Charlotte Flair basically commented on this, and it appears Charlotte has now since responded to some of the controversial comments and made during the roast via her social media, where she said, "I don't know, IDK. I'm just going to wrestle." So, yeah, that roast sucked. That roast was not funny, and Nia Jax, she's very mean. Yeah. She's very mean-spirited, but wasn't really a good set.
Yeah, and it's funny that you gave that part. And I was like, what a lot of people don't know is it got a lot worse than that.
Yeah.
Some
people said we've had as many WrestleManias as Charlotte Flair faces.
Oh my god! Like, damn. And you know what it is?
I actually listened to it. I don't need the transcript. I actually listened.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like I saw it because I was trying to listen to it, but the reason why I couldn't listen to it was because the fans laughing were just very annoying because it felt like forced. It felt like forced laugh. Like, it's like, oh, bro, that wasn't funny. Like, what are you laughing at? That's why I couldn't really listen to it. But when I saw like the transcripts, when I saw like what was said, I was like, yo, who thought this was a great idea? Like, who really sat down and said, hey, let's do a roast of WrestleMania? You want to know why this is such a bad idea? A lot of people are not understanding. It's not the fact that, what they said was offensive. Oh, it's edgy. I understand what roasts are. That's not the issue. The issue is that the company decided to do something this bad, knowing that you have to see these people every fucking week. You want to know why a roast works for like celebrities and shit? Because they're not fucking around each other every week. Like, they're not around each other. Like, Kevin Hart said some shit about Tom Brady and his wife cheating on him. You want to know why? Like, Tom Brady was upset about it, but you want to know why it's not a big deal? Because Tom Brady and Kevin Hart don't see each other every fucking week. Somebody, imagine if a colleague of mine says something like that offensive to me. You think I'm gonna be okay with that? You gotta fucking see them every week. This is why that was a bad idea.
Yeah. And wrestlers are the most thin-skinned people in the world, so not a good idea. But WWE gotta make some money. WWE, speaking of which, has revealed the date and location for Money in the Bank 2025. The company announced on the night 2 of WrestleMania. The show will take place from the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles on June 7th. That will be the same date at the NXT Worlds Collide event with AAA. In other event news, they also announced that this year's WWE Survivor Series has an official date and location. It will take place on November 25th in San Diego at the Petco Park. This will be the first time Survivor Series takes place in a stadium, so we'll see how those shows go down for WWE. But finally, WWE, our last run of shows is from NXT and Evolve. You had WWE NXT Stand and Deliver. The show featured Obafemi defeating Trick Williams and Javon Evans in an excellent triple threat main event to retain the NXT Championship. Stephanie Vaquer beat Jada Parker, Jordan Grace, and Julia in a great four-way match to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Hank and Tank defeated Fraxium to win the NXT Tag Team Championships in a terrific tag team bout. You also had Ricky Saints beat Ethan Page in a very good opener to the show to retain the NXT North American Championship, while Tony D'Angelo got turned on by Stacks as he turned finally after weeks of teasing. He turned on Tony D'Angelo as Dark State picked up the win over a trios win over the D'Angelo family, and Sol Ruka picked up the win over Zarya, Thea Hale, Izzy Dane, Kalani Jordan, and Lola Vice in a fun ladder match for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Then you had NXT this past week on Tuesday. The show features Stephanie Vaquer beating Roxanne Perez in a good main event to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Julia and Jordan Grace were staring down with Vaquer to close the show. The Judgment Days, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez retained the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships over Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. Noam Dar made his return to beat Lexis King to win the NXT Heritage Cup after King challenged Ricky Saints for the NXT North American Championship for next week. Dark State picked up a win over Javon Evans and Miles Bourne in a fine matchup, while NXT champion Omofemi was interrupted by Trick Williams, who was looking for another shot at the title, only to be interrupted by TNA World Champion Joe Hendry, who came out for a surprise appearance and teased the challenging for the NXT Championship. After Trick talked trash to both men, they got rid of Trick up out of here, which led to Trick snapping backstage and being removed from the building. But talking about Tony D'Angelo and him being turned on by Stacks, Corey Haynes of Bodyslam.net reports that a wrestler from NXT is being considered for a main roster call-up, and that wrestler is Tony D'Angelo. He is a name that has been discussed in regards to a call-up. D'Angelo has been with NXT since 2021. Many of his contemporaries from that time have already made it to the main roster, including Grayson Waller, Bron Breakker, Carmelo Hayes, Legado del Fantasma, the Creed brothers, and more. So it seems like he's going to be the last one who finally makes a move over to the main roster. And then finally, not really an NXT note, more of a WWE note, but Natalya will get a shot at the NWA Women's World Championship at the Crockett Cup. The NWA announced on Friday that the WWE star will challenge Kenzie Page for the title on May 17th. So that goes down. So Natty Neidhart making her runs around the promotions right now. And then finally, you had WWE Evolve this week with my favorite new faction, the Vanity Project. They took center stage as they kicked off the broadcast for a promo before Shawn Legacy defeated Jackson Drake in a good opener. Later in the show, you had Bryce Donovan beat Timothy Thatcher in a solid main event, while Harlem Lewis and Keanu Carver had a Evolve face-off that was interrupted by Stevie Turner, who scheduled a tag team matchup with Lewis and Carver versus Swipe White for next week. So we'll see how that goes down. Krssi Love is back with us, and she's got her background, her signature background. You okay, Krssi?
I'm good. Yes, thank you. I had to move locations. Unexpected company came over and I was in the living room, so I had to move and change locations. So.
No worries at all. I will say with NXT Stand and Deliver, that show was so much better than both nights at WrestleMania.
That's what I heard. I didn't even get to watch it yet. But that's what I heard. It was usually delivers though.
Yeah, but it's usually like the last 2 years, and the reason, I think that the real reason why WrestleMania came off a little bit flat to a lot of people is because Triple H has risen the bar on WrestleMania. Like WrestleMania 39 and WrestleMania 40 are both top 10 WrestleManias. You can't raise the bar and then give us the shit you gave us last weekend.
Yeah, that's true. You give subpar foolishness because you didn't do anything. You didn't plan it right.
Yeah, and then also Stand and Deliver wasn't a great build up either. Let's not forget that it was not a good build up. It was 9:30 in the morning in Vegas when it was on. Half the arena was empty. It was not a good spot for them. Yeah, it really wasn't. No, it's true. Like they only sold like about 8,000 tickets. Last year was 16, so they had half of what they had last year. And then the camera side was blocked off. Like there was no seats there. And I know from what I understand, Chase was there, and Chase's section got blocked off, so they gave him better seats, but it wasn't a good spot for them at all. Like I think they were doomed from the start when it came to that.
They packed too much stuff on all in that weekend. That's the damn problem.
Not only that, but it's just the timing, like the build up, the timing. If you have a better build up, you have a better fan perception of going. But 9:30 in Vegas, 9:30 in the morning in Vegas.
And don't get there the night before. You don't know what the hell time it is.
I had to be in the building at 5 a.m.
I'm sorry, wait,
what? Yes. After Triple H did an hour-long Hall of Fame speech the night prior. That went into like 1:30 in the morning.
Because they was all like, you showed the people like sleep in the seats. The talent is tired.
Yeah. I agree with this though. She said, Annika says, "What's the plan for Tony D? If there's no plan, don't move him." I hope that the family goes up with him, whoever's left from the family, because that's kind of the thing that. Well, they had Stacks. They've been building towards Stacks turning on him, so that made sense at the very least, and it was something to happen in the match, which was probably the worst match on the show. So fair enough. AEW, we're finally here to the short converse here, so because no collision last week. We talked about it on last week's show. AEW Dynamite did its record low for the year so far, 521,000 viewers against the NBA playoffs, but the show featured Master P, make them say kicking off the broadcast from New Orleans to introduce the Ops for an AEW World Trios Championship win after winning the titles last week, until the Death Riders interrupted and attacked the champions. After a distraction from P, Samoa Joe applied the Kikina clutch on the AEW World Champion until the Elites, Young Bucks and Kazuchika Okada came out to help the Death Riders once again. This led to Swerve Strickland coming out, as well as Kenny Omega to chase off the Elite. You had Joe accept the challenge from Jon Moxley from Collision for the AEW World Championship, which sets it up for the May 14th AEW Dynamite Beach Break episode. Then you had Ricochet. He picked up a win. He suffered a loss to Mark Briscoe in a great opener to the show. Post-match, you had Kevin Knight made the save for Briscoe when Ricochet went to attack him with his gold scissors. Later in the show, Kevin Knight was involved in one of the best TV tag team matches of the year, as Matthew and Nicholas Jackson defeated Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey in a fantastic tag team encounter, thanks in large part to interference from Ricochet. Stokely Hathaway made his return to AEW and revealed himself as the new agent of FTR in a fun promo segment. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler then invited the Rock and Roll Express into the ring, where they disrespected the legendary tag team and then attacked them with a spike power driver to Ricky Morton before the Paragon made the save. MJF interrupted the Hurt Syndicate to once again ask if he can get the thumbs up from the stable. While he received thumbs up from MVP and Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley needed a bit more convincing. MJF apologized to him and then offered his new car, which Lashley took and then still gave him a thumbs down. Later, you had MJF confront a Hangman Adam Page backstage, bragging about taking the back door to the AEW World title through the Hurt Syndicate, while Page was working hard in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. The Don Callis families, Josh Alexander and Konosuke Takeshita, beat Brody King and Will Ospreay in a great tag team encounter. Post-match, you had Alexander, Takeshita, and Lance Archer all jumped Brody and Ospreay until Kyle Fletcher came down to join the attack. But then Hangman Adam Page came out to go after Fletcher ahead of their Owen Hart Cup matchup until Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero jumped Page from behind, and the Don Callis family stood tall over the baby faces. And then finally, you had Jamie Hayter defeated Chris Statlander in a banger of a main event to advance to the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament Finals against Mercedes Moné at AEW Double or Nothing. Post-match, Hayter had a stare down with Moné from the entranceway to close the show. Another very good episode from AEW Dynamite, not on the level of the all-timer. Krssi Love, if you didn't watch last week's Dynamite, that was one of the best Dynamites ever.
No,
yeah.
Oh, you
did see it?
Yes. I said this year. Yes. No, Dynamite was on fire last week. I just missed the
This one was very good, though.
Yes.
This one was very good this week. You didn't see Master P? You ain't say the non.
I missed that part of it. I got into. I turned it on. I had it on my TV maybe 10 after 8 or whatever, because I was in the kitchen and I was like, oh crap, it's Dynamite is on, so I have to go. So I didn't see the one before that though. I didn't see that one though.
Oh, last week was the all-timer. That's the one I was talking about. That had
You
Mercedes.
gotta see that one.
Mercedes versus Athena. It had Will Ospreay and Konosuke Takeshita in one of the matches of the year. So yeah, go out of your way to see that one.
If you have Max, watch it because
I could go back and watch it on Max.
It's a great, not a bad match on that show.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Josh, what did you think about this week?
I thought it was really good. I liked some of the stuff they did. The Master P stuff I thought was just goofy, but that's just what Master P is.
Yeah.
They promoted it. They wanted to make it something, and but those punches, man. Oof.
Yeah, he punched John Mox. I was like, what is he doing? Don't do See,
the part was funny though when he's like when he told John, he's like, choke him out. He's like, yeah, choke him out. That was great. What happens
when you have fans and they want to insert themselves. That's what I'm talking about. That
part. It was mad funny. The tag team match, I do agree. That was the best the Young Bucks have in a while. For a team that hasn't been on TV, and but it's the Young Bucks, right? They're great. It's just I think they need some motivation or whatever the case may be. They need to be on TV a little bit more to wrestle, because I think that's their best attribute. I think that's their best thing that they do. Overall, I thought it was a solid show. Don Callis family, I liked them a lot more than the Death Riders. I tell you that much.
I mean, this dude Jimmy said it the best. He was like, if you replace the Don Callis family for the Death Riders, this company would be on fire, on all cylinders.
I 100% agree with that. Which is surprising because I usually don't agree with Jamie, but I do agree with that because they look presentable. They look like not only a strong stable, but look at the guys they have in the stable.
In the stable with them, right? Exactly.
Yeah, because even with the stuff with Trent and Rocky, I think it's interesting because Rocky, he's never really been a heel. This is kind of the first time I've seen a heel, and it's been working. Because they're him and Trent, they're more of the sneaky heels, what they did to Hangman, they're good at that stuff like that. The second hand guys to get the upper hand. I thought they did that very well. Oh, and the fucking promo between MJF and Hangman, that was
one of the best parts of the show. That was one of the best parts. That was
incredible. The fact that Hangman, what's great with Hangman is I think he doesn't get enough credit for that. It's if you pair him with somebody and he's gonna knock out of the park, for some reason there's always a fucking grand slam. Every time him and Swerve on TV, phenomenal. Every time him and MJF on TV, phenomenal. He's so fucking good.
This man holds more grudges than 50 Cent. He never ends any of his rivalries.
Who? Hangman, right?
Yes, Hangman has the rivalry with Swerve still going, the rivalry with MJF still going, with the Elite still going. It's never ending.
Yeah, and then the ladies' main event, I thought that was a great match. I was surprised with the end result, but I actually didn't mind it. I did not mind Hayter winning. I thought it was a good thing for her.
Right.
To me, it tells me that Chase is probably gonna win. So that's going to be interesting to see. Even if she does, I'll be more surprised if Mercedes loses. But I do like the fact that they went with Hayter. I wasn't too upset about that. And it was a great match, a great main event.
Great. There was some great wrestling on this show as well. There hasn't been a bad match on Dynamite the last 2 weeks, so got to give them up for that.
Jericho has been on TV.
Also true. In some news involving someone from AEW, Krssi Love, like you said, we missed out, so we got this news for you. And the rumor mill continues to churn in regards to former AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May joining the WWE. A new report by WrestleVotes from this week's Backstage Pass reveals that WWE is planning on making an outstanding offer to Mariah May to come to the company once she is officially a free agent. Ibu of WrestlePurist added, and I quote, "I don't really get Mariah May to WWE, to be honest, but it'll probably happen." She told AEW she wasn't re-signing before the Hollywood ending. This was further confirmation from the previous report made by Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter last week. So it seems like all signs are pointing to Mariah May leaving AEW when her contract expires later this summer and going over to WWE. I feel like, you know, that whole outstanding offer, I feel like it's going to be lower than what Tony Khan is willing to pay her, and she's still going to go to WWE.
Yeah, this is what I told somebody. I think somebody... There's an account on Twitter that writes a lot. Sometimes I agree with this person, sometimes I don't. I think this person made it seem like a big deal of like, oh, you know, it's officially over for AEW, like hearing the offer. And I said it. I was like, offer it, that's a nothing burger. Why? Because Tony Khan's gonna offer more money. It's a matter of what Mariah wants to do. So they're trying to make it seem like, oh, but if WWE does this and if the amount is lower by this much, she's gonna choose WWE. I was like, no, it's not gonna fucking matter. WWE, the way WWE is going to negotiate is they're going to offer you something, but what they're going to say is about being part of the brand. That's their biggest pitch of, you want to be here, you're going to be here. That's basically their pitch. It's not a money thing at this point anymore. So even if they make a significant offer, AEW is still going to make more of an offer. To me, it's still one of those things where I think it's more of a play from Mariah. Yeah, she said she wasn't going to re-sign at Revolution, but if you notice, they keep harboring on that, right? Oh, she said at Revolution she wasn't going to resign. That can mean anything. Where it was like at that moment she wasn't going to resign.
I think that is more of she wants to go into free agency so she can hear both sides. So like I think that Tony and AEW still have to make their offer. They can't just wipe their hands being like, oh, she's gonna go. They still have to make their offer, and I think they will. But I think they're smart on Mariah's part to go into free agency so you can hear both sides.
You can hear both sides.
I think that's what it is, and I think a lot of people are like looking a little too much into that because remind you, she's on contract for another few months, so they have enough time to whatever they want to do. And if they make her again, if AEW makes her significant offer, you know, at least they're gonna try. I don't see a scenario AEW is not gonna try. I think some people kind of waved the white flag on that. I was like, no, AEW is gonna try. It's just a matter of she wants to go back or not. That's just where it comes down to.
Yep.
Because it is what it is, but I think she's playing it smart. She's playing her free agency smart. Like she's playing her negotiation smart. That's what you got to do. This is what kind of stuff Vaquero should have done, but that's just me.
and don't admit it afterwards. God damn, what are you doing? But final AEW news. Well, let's put our percentage on it. 0 to 100. Mariah May leaves AEW to go to WWE. I'm gonna put it at right now. I'm thinking it's a strong 65%. It might be higher next week, but I think that she is. All signs are pointing to her going there, so I'll put it at a positive of 65%. Krssi?
I was gonna say 55 to 60.
Okay. What about you, Josh?
I'm gonna say 51%.
Okay. Slightly. 69% from Power Driver Finisher.
Nice. Why gotta be 69, you pervert?
Hey, Nice. During this past Wednesday's AEW Dynamite, Excalibur said that AEW Beach Break will be a 4-hour live TV special. This led to some thinking that all 4 hours would air on the same night. However, Post Wrestling contacted AEW, who confirmed that Beach Break will instead be airing over 2 different nights. Similar to other themed TV episodes, there will be a Beach Break edition of Dynamite on May 14th, and then a Beach Break edition of Collision on May 17th. However, both shows will be taped in one night at the Now Arena in Chicago. Jon Moxley will, of course, defend the AEW World title against Samoa Joe at the taping for the episode of Dynamite. But finishing up with Finishing up with the Converse this week, ROH TV, the show featured AR Fox, Top Flight, and Mark Briscoe beating Shane Taylor Promotions in a decent 8-man tag main event. The Righteous made their return as they teamed with the Premier Athletes to pick up a win over the Spanish Announce Project and the returning Queendom in the opener to the show, as well as you had a Red Velvet. She beat Ashley Vox in a ROH Women's TV title proving ground matchup also on the show, while Lance Archer defeated Crowbar in one-on-one action on this show as well. But moving on over to Japan, as New Japan Pro Wrestling, this morning they had a big show that we'll talk about shortly here. But Bushi was previously announced as leaving NJPW and will be finishing up with the company later next month. The Mad Star posted a diary entry to the company's official website talking that he was thankful to them for canceling his contract, even though he was advertised to appear at the Best of Super Juniors tournament. He says, although I was allowed to enter the Best of Super Juniors tournament, even after the participating members had been announced, I apologize for the inconvenience to those who were planning to watch the tournament. I also like to express my gratitude to New Japan Pro Wrestling for listening to my selfish wishes and letting me cancel my contract, even though I had signed an annual contract with the company. I am grateful to New Japan Pro Wrestling for letting me cancel the contract. I'm just leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling and I'm not retiring from being a pro wrestler. Meanwhile, his LIJ stablemate Hiromu Takahashi has confirmed that he will be leaving NJPW. He will not be leaving NJPW and staying with the promotion in the wake of Tetsuya Naito and Bushi exiting. As we said last week, Naito and Bushi are leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling after May 4th's Wrestling Dontaku show. Takahashi spoke with Tokyo Sports and said that he is staying. He says, I'm staying with NJPW. I'm thinking positively about pursuing what I want to do. LIJ has always been a group of an uncontrollable individuals, so I don't know what's next, but I'm planning to put some ideas into action. And then finally, and probably the most drama from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Jeff Cobb is expected to make his WWE debut in the coming weeks, and having opted to leave New Japan. And while it was assumed that most of his peers would be happy for him signing with one of the biggest promotions in the world, it appears that isn't the case. According to Ari Perkins on X, who is the wife of former WWE star TJ Perkins, United Empire stablemates, the rest of the United Empire stablemates are talking shit about Jeff Cobb, as she said, talking shit on your big bitch ass, you fucking pussy cunt.
Oh my God.
While Aria Perkins, who wrestled under the name of Ariel Blake, claimed in another tweet that Cobb had been passive-aggressive towards her husband. It appears she put Cobb on blast because he failed to acknowledge TJP in his goodbye tweet. This is despite TJP actually being one of the leaders of United Empire and having teamed with Cobb dozens of times in New Japan since 2019. Still, this is obviously a bad look for all involved, and it appears the mother of two realizes this as her tweets have since been deleted. But then TJP chimed in a long, detailed tirade on Reddit, going through everything that has transpired backstage within the United Empire, including how management asked him to be the leader of the group after Will Ospreay left, Jeff Cobb trying to sabotage the faction, none of the members wanting to be the leader, and none of the members wanting to talk to Jeff Cobb after his departure, and their decline in merchandise and pay plus more. So the tweet, I retweeted the tweet. It's on my my account right now at Tru Heel SP3. But United Empire is still getting success as Callum Newman and the Great O'Khan defeated Bishamon this morning at New Japan Red Zone to become the new IWGP Tag Team Championships. That champions, that comes off the heels of Callum Newman and Jeff Cobb winning the titles at April 5th Sakura Genesis, but then having to relinquish the titles after Jeff Cobb left the promotion. Like I said at the top of the show, everywhere is drama except for AEW this week. Thank God for that.
Like, finally, yes.
Right.
Yes. Like, all we got to worry about is the NFL draft, and then we drafted Travis Hunter. That's all we care about.
There we go. There we go. What do you think about all this drama? What do you think about the wife getting involved in this, Krssi Love, with Jeff Cobb and TJP? It's always messy when significant others get involved to me.
It is. Take their phones away. Like you're making it worse for everyone. You're making it worse. You're not making this any better at all. Like, take your phone away. Like, and I get it. You're feeling upset and annoyed for your partner. I get all of that. But it's just a time and a place, and you don't need to insert yourself and do these things.
Yeah, ironically, I think TJP actually made it worse compared to the wife.
Yeah, he gave too much information. He gave like 7 paragraphs worth of information. That's way too much.
Too much pillow talk. Yes, don't do it no more. Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
It's like YouTube drama. It's like we seen it in wrestling. Yo, it was crazy. I was like, what? Yeah, when I read that, I was like, yo, that's too long. I tried to read the first few sentences. I was like, damn, bro, this is long. All I got from it is like, yeah, Jeff Cobb is this. He's never happy. Blah blah blah. That's all I really got from it.
We got Jeremy Orr. He says, do you think New Japan will be okay in the long run? Yeah, they always are able to bounce back and recover. It's just a lot of drama and a lot of people leaving right now, but
I think they'll be fine.
This United Empire drama is not what they need with all the people leaving.
New Japan will be fine. You know, last year I thought it was kind of like a kind of damning time because they lost Ospreay to Okada, and then they kind of did turn things around. So I think they had that experience now that they know how to navigate things. So I think they'll end up being fine.
And then finally, finishing up with what we missed, GCW, the Collective 2025. You had Effie's Big Gay Brunch, which was on last Saturday, as you had Effie retaining the GCW World Championship in a win over Dark Sheik. And then you had Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Kid Bandit in a splendid technical wrestling bout. We also had Joey Janela's Spring Break Clusterfuck Forever, featured Brody Lee Jr. making his in-ring debut to win the Clusterfuck by last eliminating Joey Janela and Megan Bain to pick up the win. So shout outs to Brody Lee Jr. making his return. And finally, you had TNA Impact, which had the Nemeth brothers invading the Hardy compound to try to steal the TNA World Championships. This whole segment featured the return of Jeff Hardy's alter ego, Will the Wisp, who did a dance to a remix version of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Thumbs up for me. But Nick Nemeth got the better of Jeff Hardy and was able to steal both titles. Meanwhile, Matt Hardy drowned Ryan Nemeth in the lake of reincarnation, where Nemeth hallucinated different scenes with Matt's kids before the Nemeth brothers were able to escape with the titles. Joe Hendry and Elijah picked up a win over Frankie Kazarian and Ethan Page in the main event. The System defeated Trey Miguel and Ace Austin in a pretty good opening matchup. Eric Young drugged Steve Macklin after a last drink before their TNA International Championship matchup, while Tessa Blanchard beat Messa Kate. Post-match, Masha Slamovich came out to attack Tessa before they face at Rebellion. But we got to talk some information about Joe Hendry's debut at WrestleMania. A new report from Fightful reports that WWE had the wheels in motion to ask Hendry's about his availability by the time that Kevin Owens announced that he would be missing the show. The report goes on to say that many in TNA found out that the appearance was confirmed on Saturday and that WWE kept the appearance quiet, including not listing him on internal run sheets. A number of TNA talent and staff were asked about how the match played out and said that they felt it was good exposure for TNA, not taking as much of an issue with it as many did online. For those curious, Hendry is still under a TNA contract with his deal expiring sometime within the next 12 months. Hendry has an agent and WWE has maintained potential interest in him. And Hendry did confirm that Triple H contacted him about the WrestleMania appearance 1 week before the shows after Kevin Owens' departure for it. So, like I said at the review, Josh, good on Joe Hendry getting his WrestleMania debut. Love him. He's a great talent and always a nice guy whenever I'm able to talk to him. But TNA are idiots for this.
Yep.
I agree with that, and I stand by the same thing. I stand by that. It's good for Joe Hendry. It's not so much good for TNA, in my opinion. And
because they're about to steal him. Watch.
Not only that, but then anniversary. You want to know how many tickets moved since Joe Hendry's appearance?
What?
You want to know how many? 60. So is it really doing what they said they were going to do for TNA? No. So
yeah.
Benefits Joe Hendry. I'm happy for him. He's going to end up in WWE. That's just all it really is.
Most definitely. It's only a matter of time. All right, but let's finish up with our best and worst of the week, moment and match of the week. I know Krssi Love got to go, so we'll run through this pretty fast. Krssi Love, we'll start with you. Who was your best of the week? Who was your worst of the week?
Best of the week. I will give it to Paul Heyman.
Okay. That's a good shout.
Paul Heyman.
Worst of the week?
Becky Lynch.
Okay.
That's saying a lot. I'm sorry. You know I like Becky Lynch.
I know. Josh?
Best of the week? I'm going to go with Tony Khan.
Oh, that's
great
a good
AEW, no drama, and he got Travis Hunter, arguably the best prospect in the in the NFL draft this week. Worst, gotta be WWE all around.
Okay, that's fair.
It has not been the last 2 weeks has not been perception wise for them.
My best of the week is Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and Io Sky. Those are my best of the week for this week. And then worst of the week, easy. Triple H and The Rock.
The Rock, that's true.
They made their fucking public freaking winch fest and dick measuring contest wide open, so everybody knows about it now when they could have been kept under wraps. But we all know now. Thanks, guys. And what was your moment of the week? My moment of the week, I'm going with Paul Heyman turning on Roman and Punk for Seth. Krssi?
Yeah, I will say the same. I was going to say the same thing. The triple threat match. Paul turning on both the guys. He could have gave Roman a better knee thing, because he messed it up a little bit. But whatever. We'll give him an A for effort. You know?
No, that was just Paul Heyman being into it a little too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he got in there, I was like,
he wanted to scramble the balls. He scrambled them.
You know what?
Josh, what about you?
Same. Heyman turning on Punk and Roman.
There we go. And now your match of the week, matches of the week, Josh.
Oh, matches of the week. Do we count the weekend too?
Yeah. Everything from last Saturday on.
Yeah.
All right. Make it a lot easier for me because I only got three, like always. Number 3, I'm gonna go with the tag match on Dynamite, Young Bucks versus what was it again?
That was
Young Bucks versus Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight.
Yes.
Kevin Knight. Yep. Number 3. Number 2, I'm gonna go with the women's opening match from WrestleMania Night 2. And number one, I'm gonna go with. With 2 matches. I'll go with the main event night one. I'll go with that one.
Okay. Krssi, what's your matches of the week?
Match of the week. We're gonna do 5. We're gonna do the triple threat ladder match from last night's SmackDown. Number 4 is going to be Jamie Hayter versus Statlander. That main event. Number 3 is going to be I want to give it to. I'll give the match that Dom won, the IC match from WrestleMania. Yes.
Yeah.
Number 2 is the main event from night 1, and number 1 is going to be the opener of night 2, the ladies.
Fair. I have 20 because I watch way too much wrestling.
He said
I'll run
20.
through it fast.
This fucking guy.
That's why he went last. That's why he's going last.
Number 20, Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page from Stand and Deliver.
Yes, that's a good shout.
Number 19, Fraxium versus Los Garza from SmackDown last night. Number 18, Stephanie Vaquer versus Roxanne Perez from NXT. 17, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kid Bandit from Effie's Big Gay Brunch. 16, Mizuki versus Miyu Yamashita from TJP in Las Vegas. What's that? Yeah. 15. That was 14. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, Sin City Street Fight from WrestleMania. 13. Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet from Dynamite. 12. Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker from Stand and Deliver. Then you got the Callis family versus Brody and Ospreay. Takeshita versus Mao. Then we got Jamie Hayter versus Chris Statlander. Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor versus Penta versus Bron Breakker from WrestleMania. Mercedes Moné versus Kenji from Rev Pro. Number 7, Michael Oku versus Leon Slater from Rev Pro. Number 6, Hank and Tank versus Fraxium from Stand and Deliver. Number 5, the Young Bucks versus Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey. Number 4, Obafemi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans from Stand and Deliver. Number 3, Street Profits versus DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns TLC from last night's SmackDown. Number 2, Seth versus Roman versus Punk from WrestleMania. And number 1, Easy, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. So that is our matches of the week. Krssi Love, do you have to go now?
Yep, I'm gonna head out now, guys. You guys, I'll see you all next week. SP, I will try to join tomorrow. What time are we doing Dark Side?
Probably 3 if you can.
3, okay. If I can, it's gonna be, I don't know.
No,
I'll let you know.
No, let me know.
Yes,
but
if not,
the floor is yours. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
Follow me, Krssi Love _1, Tru Heel Krssi Love, and just my plain old name. SP and I will be back doing our reviews. Catch our review from yesterday for Power episode 6 and 7. He will be doing Dark Side tomorrow. I'm not sure if he has anybody with him. I will definitely try to join him. If not, we will be back at our regular scheduled programmers later on this week.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Krssi
Thanks,
Love.
guys.
Thanks for your return and always keeping it real as only you can. We appreciate
you. All enjoy. Have a great week, peeps. See you later.
Laters. And finally, me and Josh going to finish up with our predictions for the weekend as we got 2 big shows tomorrow. Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom coming up. That's in the morning time over in Japan. It's like the biggest Joshi event in the world of, especially this year. You got the Stardom Rumble on the pre-show. Then you got Tekla versus Sakya Kara. You got Mei Sarah versus Suzu Suzuki. You also got the Cosmic Angels versus Team Meiko Satomura in Meiko's last match in Stardom. Rina versus Yamiko Hata. Hina versus Rana Yakakami for the Future of Stardom Championship. And then you got the big matches here. You got Shichihiro Hashimoto defending the Sendai Girls World Championship against Maika, 2 of the best Joshi women's wrestlers in the world. I'm going to go with Hashimoto to retain this one. Josh, who you got? Hashimoto versus Maika.
I got the champion retaining.
You got Wingori will defend the Stardom, the Goddess of Stardom championships, which is the tag team titles against FWC, Hazuki, and Kogama. Then you got for the IWGP Women's Championship. This should be one of the best women's matches of the year. Mayu Iwatani will defend against Shuri. I'm going with Shuri to beat Mayu and end the 2-year run. Who you got, Josh?
Ooh, see, the thing is that every time I choose Nancy Watani, she wins. So I don't know. Fuck it, I'll do it again. Because I got it at one point. I'm gonna go with Challenger winning, ending the streak.
All right, so we're both going with Shuri in that one. Then you got another match that might be one of the best women's matches in the year, as Starlight Kid will defend the Wonder of Stardom Championship against Azumi. The winner of the matchup will be the leader of the Neo Genesis stable as well. I'm gonna go with Starlight Kid to retain. Josh?
I'm gonna go with the champion retaining.
And then finally, it is career versus career, one of the biggest matches in Joshi wrestling of the year for the World of Stardom Championship, the top prize in Stardom. Saya Kamitani goes one-on-one with Tam Nakano. Loser is retired. I'm going with Saya Kamitani, the end of the Tam Nakano era in Stardom. Who you got?
What was the names again?
Tam Nakano versus Saya Kamitani.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Sam County.
So we're both going with some Kamitani in that one.
Yeah.
Go out of your way to watch this one. This should be one of the best cards of the year, like especially in Joshi wrestling. Me and Scott E wrestling went a little bit more in depth on our preview, where he is like the best person to talk to about Joshi wrestling. He's so tapped in. So check out that preview we did earlier this week.
Because for me, like, I watch it like time to time. Like I watch it time to time. But last year I started watching like full shows, and I was like, oh, this is actually really good. Some good shit that they be doing.
This is going to be my first full show that I watched this year. So we're going to do a review of it on Monday, and we'll probably talk a little bit about it on next week's show as well. But finally, we got TNA Rebellion, which is tomorrow night as well. You got TNA Rebellion, the countdown to TNA Rebellion. We'll see Zaya Brookside, Rosemary, and Lei Ying Lee going up against Fatal Influence. You'll also have the Walk with Elijah Open Challenge, you know, Josh's favorite wrestler. And then you got the main card, Ace Austin and the Rascals versus the System. Ace Austin and the Rascals will have Sean Waltman in their corner. I'm going with Ace and the Rascals. Who you got?
I got Ace and the Rascals.
Then we got Steve Macklin defending the TNA International Championship against Eric Young. Steve Macklin is coming off of being roofied on Thursday's Impact, but I'm still picking him over EY. Who you got?
Same. I don't know why they did that angle. I don't know why they did that.
It was hilarious. I laughed so much on the post-show.
Oh my god.
For the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships, the Elegance brand will defend against NXT's Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson of the Metaphor and Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley, as well as former champion Spitfire. This should be a fun one. I'm going with the Elegance brand to retain.
Yeah, I got the champions retaining. I don't see any NXT people getting TNA titles anytime soon.
This should steal the show right here. For it's going to be a Falls Count Anywhere matchup, the best rivalry in TNA by a country mile. Mike Santana goes one-on-one with Mustafa Ali. I'm going to be going against the grain. I'm going with Ali to win because Ali must be the next TNA world champion. So then Mike Santana can beat him for the title. I'm going with Ali here. Who you got?
I do like that idea. But I'm going to lean a little bit more with Santana. I'm going with Santana, but I'm not too mad if Ali wins.
For the TNA X Division Championship, Ultimate X makes its return. Moose defends against Matt Cardona, Sidney Akin, the former Reggie, Casey Navarro, Elio Del Vikingo, and my boy, Leon Slater. I'm going with Leon Slater to become the youngest TNA X Division champion.
You know what? I'm the same. I'm gonna go with Slater. It's a weird match. I mean, not Ultimate X itself, but the two of the competitors. I'm just like, yeah, it's a little kind of strange.
Then we got the triple main event first for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. The Hardys will defend against Nick and Ryan Nemeth. I'm going with the Hardys to retain.
Hardys retaining.
Then we got for the TNA Knockout World Championship, Masha Slamovich versus Tessa Blanchard. Tessa for the win. Josh.
I got Masha retaining. I can't put that bad juju in my head.
It's TNA, bro. It's TNA.
I know. I'm trying to go against it, but I already know what's gonna happen.
And then finally, for the TNA World Championship, Joe Hendry defends against Frankie Kazarian and NXT's own Ethan Page. I'm hoping TNA is not that dumb. They're dumb, but they're not that dumb. Joe Hendry retains. Josh?
I think Joe Hendry retains. Come on, Frankie Kazarian. Come on. Seriously.
Well, that brings us to an end of another flagship podcast, a jam-packed podcast recapping everything that happened on WrestleMania week. We want to thank you if you joined us for the entire way through and talked all about everything. And thank you to everybody who were a part of our call-in. Chase, Christopher Kidd, as well as Vala. You guys are awesome. Always appreciate y'all's support in the chat. And anyone else who watched us today or just commented in the live chat, you're always a part of our show. So we appreciate y'all and greatly appreciate y'all for a very successful, very fulfilling WrestleMania week where we did so much content and we just kept it going the rest of the week into today. So I appreciate y'all for all the love and support that you give us here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. And thank you to our team, Romeo, with all the great thumbnails and hosting the watch parties, Top Guy JJ, who's been being more on screen as of late, of course, Krssi Love, Baby Seth, who's always our producer for the flagship here, Chris, who joined us for a couple of the watch parties, Sober Guy JJ, who said he was going to join us for a couple of watch parties, but and also the team. Also, the team over at Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, like Stat King and Chase and all of them that join us over there. You guys have been awesome. Josh, you are like right there with me, being a part of all these streams, just as many streams as I am. Almost, you have a 9 to 5, so you have to do that as well. But I appreciate you for always joining me, especially on the weekends here. But I want to give you the floor. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again.
You can follow me, JamPunk321, Twitter and Instagram. I'll be back on the 10th, May 10th episode of Tru Heel Heat, because the 3rd I'll be out because I'll be making my first artist appearance for the year at a Comic Fest at White Plains. So I'll be there. I'll be selling some artwork. I'm working on a new piece that I actually have to get done by tonight for my deadline for new pieces. So I'll be out next weekend, but I'll be back the following.
There you have it. So it will be me and Miss Krssi Love next week. We might have a guest, might not. I don't know. I never know. We'll figure it out. We'll have some fun as always, because we'll talk about STARDOM, All-Star Grand Queendom, TNA Rebellion, and the week that was from WWE and AEW next week. So join us for that. We'll also be talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestling Duntaku, as well as the preview for the second show, which is going to have the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. So you got that to look forward to next Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. Follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Yes, congratulations to Josh. Some congratulations in the chat to you, showing you some love there. And I always appreciate Josh being here on the channel and everything he does outside of it. But I will be live tomorrow, twice. Yes, I never take a break. Sorry, old nutty. I'm not going to take a break. Tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern time, it will be myself and Corey Brennan of Fightful over on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel to finally, after 2 weeks, we're going to be reviewing the Daredevil Born Again Season 1 finale. So we'll talk all about that 1:05 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And then after that, like an hour or so after we end that stream, I'll be back here on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel to catch up on some Dark Side of the Ring. We're going to be doing Season 6, episode, this is 3, with Tony Atlas. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow right here on the channel. So join us for that. Join me and Scott E. Wrestling on Monday for a Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom review as well. So a lot for you to enjoy here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel always. So we appreciate that. And congrats and thank you to everybody for helping us reach 23,000 subscribers this week as well. So a big week for us overall across the board. So for Miss Krssi Love, for the True Jaw Josh, for all of our call-in guests for today, we appreciate y'all for the special call-in edition of the Flagship Podcast. This has been Tru Heel Heat 326, the final boss power struggle game. We are signing off until next time.